Gather round, freaks. We've done it again. We've hit another anthology film with many great anime moments, and we're going to find out all about it. That was probably my worst one. Ron, hey, did you see this one? Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 141 of Hey, Did You See This One? This is the weekly roundtable review reaction podcast, I guess, video podcast here on the great internet, where we take a movie, we pull it apart, we leave no stone unturned, and we just have to ask the question, hey, did you see this one? Now, typically, it's a hey, did you see this one where people have seen it. Oftentimes, they have not. Sometimes we do anthology films, and for the first month ever, that's what we're doing right now. And I don't think a lot of people have seen this because I had never heard of it. And when I mentioned it to people, they had not heard of it either. But it is Memories from 1995. It is an anthology of 3 short films by what's known as the Anime Dream Team. We'll break down who those people are as we go along through the movies. And like I said, episode 141. So that's kind of a milestone unto itself.
It
really is. Yep.
I can't even think of. I almost did a Blink 182 song. That's not right.
Where are you? Where are you? That's right. Well, please welcome back to the show the star of the Hollywood Sweet Channel. Is that the name of it?
Sure.
Yeah.
It is. You're right.
Sure. Please welcome back to the show, Cam Maitland. Cam Maitland's back. Hello.
I think the only way you can do it in that voice is, "Hey, did you see this one?"
I cannot sleep. I cannot dream with you. We got some hellos in the chat. Hello.
Hello.
Wow.
Hi.
Wow. I myself am Jason Memories Phillips, and I'm joined as always by my illustrious co-host Stephen Boba Blackfly Waters.
Hi, that's me.
How are you guys all doing?
I blew my voice out at work today. Whoopsie.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
The
And
life
also it's
of a pro.
9,000 degrees here in Toronto, so we're all feeling, trying to beat the heat, having a brewski, having a cider ski, and
having a crisp Coca-Cola 0 calorie.
Wow,
very good.
No sugar, sorry.
My Diet Coke addiction, or whatever that old meme was. So we're talking about Memories. It's a great film. It's 3 great films, I would say. I had a good time watching it. I think the first thing we have to do, though, is appease the Lord Zardos.
Zardos speaks to you. He demands you synopsize this film. Tell him how, why, who, what occurs in this film.
Well, I guess I'll do it.
Yeah.
The movie Memories from 1995 is a Japanese animated science fiction anthology. It's 3 movies. I thought the theme was going to be memories of some capacity, but I think maybe more so it's something that had to do with the creators and writers of these concepts, it had to do with their memories and not necessarily the concept of memories. The first one very much involves memories as a theme. The second one, not so much. And the third one, maybe, I guess, if you remember the horrible world wars that have existed since the beginning of humankind. Second one is sort of the outlier for me, where I'm like, I don't know what this one has to do with memories at all. But yeah, I mean, unlike our last anthology, there was a very clear sort of defined entry into a grander lore, whereas this is just sort of 3 very unique and individualized stories with a very different concept to each one. They all semi fall into science fiction in some way. I mean, they're all pretty much science fiction, but I guess that's the only real connecting tissue between the three of them. They all have their own very unique art style and their own completely different vibes. One is very much a serious science fiction take. Another one is quite comedic, and the other one is sort of this dark, grungy, interesting, sort of scribbly art style, which is really cool. But we'll talk about that as we go. But yeah, that's pretty much the concept, I guess. And there's not really a synopsis I can do without going into the details of each one, but we'll do that as we talk, right?
We'll do that as we talk, yes. Well, okay. I hope that appeases the great Lord Zardos. Maybe we'll hear from him later. That said, I know I really cannot help myself.
I was like, don't spoil it. It immediately spoils it.
I said maybe.
Yeah.
I will also say that my understanding is I don't think it's a 1-to-1 at all, but I think that Otomo, the producer, sometime writer, had a manga collection called Memories, and I think some of the stories are from that.
Yeah, this reminds me of there's this anthology series. I have a bunch of them actually right here. Where are they? Hold on, let me grab one. They're called Flight. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
There's a ton of them. I think I have 5 or 6 of them, but yeah, it's a collection of short stories, and they're all drawn and written by different artists and writers. In the first volume, there was sort of this defining feature of like, just take the concept of flight in any way you want and make a little short story about it. And it can be as literal or as sort of as tangential as you want to from that. And they're all really cool and interesting, but it reminded me of that in some way. Just
Yeah.
People, take something and loosely have a theme, but it doesn't have to be as literal as the words that they're giving you. But yeah, check out Flight if you guys haven't. It's really cool. It's one of the things that like in high school maybe be like, I can draw. I bet I could draw. I could probably draw. And I eventually did.
And then you did, and you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you have $500 and can speak Japanese, you can read Memories by Katsuhiro.
All right. I mean, I guess we can go into brief history. I'm sure it's pretty brief for all of us, but let's just hop right into that.
A brief history.
That's right. This is the section of the show where we break down our sort of history with the film. Camel, have you go first. I mentioned this to you. You picked it out of I gave you the pick of the litter, and you said, I want to do Memories. So I assume you have connection to it.
Yeah, I do. I'm actually surprised that you guys never watched this one, but it is. We can get into later. Probably there was some reasons it disappeared for a while. It is a movie that I wildly saw pretty much when it came out in North America. My memory was Edmonton had a pretty big anime festival, and my friend Alaska always took me there. And yeah, they premiered it. I looked it up. It looks like it came out on VHS with subs in 1998. I do think that there's a possibility, because I think this festival, which used to go on in Grant MacEwan Community College, I was looking at actually there was attendance numbers, and when we were going, the attendance was like 100, 200 people. So it was just like, but it was like weird adults who would import tapes from Japan or coming from Japan, and they would show stuff. So I saw all kinds of anime pretty early, because I don't know if people in your chat aren't from Canada. I feel like Canada had a pretty good pipeline for anime. YTV showed a lot of anime, and then the Space Network, when that started, had a pretty good heavy rotation of 80s.
Yeah, even Showtime and like later like Spike TV and stuff, they were all pretty involved with.
Yeah, Stripperella, my favorite anime.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they even published a couple of original anime Spike TV. They were all horny. I think they did the Blade anime.
Oh yeah.
Did you watch? Did you mention G4 Tech TV?
No. I never had that.
They had an animation block that is somehow related to Crunchyroll.
That's an American channel, though.
Oh yeah.
No, I had it. I had it on cable.
No, I know, but it's an American channel, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
We were talking CanCon, baby.
Yeah.
Samurai Pizza Cats.
Sailor Moon.
But yeah, so anyway, we went, and yeah, this one was showing. I think I went to it because I knew Otomo from Akira. I wasn't too like versed, especially in new stuff, and I really wasn't versed in manga that much.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's the same year. Let me look at this. I think in the same year, it was like a pretty awesome year because I think in the same year we got to see Princess Mononoke and Memories. And Memories was so memorable because of the different art styles, I think. It's definitely one that you think, like, I think is a dream sometimes. And I was telling Jason, like, obviously the first part, I think is the most memorable. But I did kind of remember both. And I always get the middle part screwed up with an OVA, I think, that Otomo did called Rujin Z, which is kind of also a medical experiment gone wrong. That one's about an out-of-control mechanical bed with an old man in it that's just like wrecking a town. Which I also am like, I should rewatch Rujin Z. But yeah, so it's just a great movie, and I remember it. And I think, like we'll get into it, but like a lot of animated anthology movies, it's kind of uneven and weird. And I think that now that I'm older, I can definitely more appreciate that they're experimenting with a lot of animation styles and tools, and that's sometimes helped them, sometimes hurt them. That's partially why it's not been around for a while, but it's definitely one that I think people would be into. It's kind of cool. It reminds me of like Heavy Metal comics and Heavy Metal the movie, and
I mean, I feel like I have seen bits of this before, but I couldn't tell you where or when, and it's like so, and I don't think I saw all of it when I did, but the reawakening of it was just a random TikTok video. A lot of my TikToks are just like retrospective reviews and like people who are sharing things from the 80s and 90s that are like, you may not have seen this, and I always feel great when I'm like, what do you mean I haven't seen it, asshole? TikTok, of course I've seen it. But then when it's something that I haven't seen, I usually will do a little bit of a deep dive and be like, okay, this looks interesting. And this is actually the movie that spurred me to ask Jason, hey, would you want to do an anthology months movie, because I hadn't seen this, and I was like, well, why don't we see if we can flit it into the show, because there's a ton of really great anthology films that I haven't seen in such a long time that I'd like to talk about. So that's how that made it on there. And it was I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 months ago that I was like, oh, what's this weird thing? Oh, I think I've seen this before. Let's put it on. So yeah, my history is, I think I saw it at one point, but I couldn't tell if I did or not. And then that TikTok, and then watching it yesterday and a little bit today.
Here's a question that I think Steve may be able to answer. Not to get political, but have you guys ever gotten a double kill in Halo?
Yes.
I'm Gen Z, so I only get Victory Royale.
Yeah, you scream Gen Z.
I definitely, I was Gen Z, so I was seeing this movie as I was born. Question mark.
Yeah, I for this movie, sorry, I want to make a clarification. I got Koji Morimoto and Katsuhiro Otomo mixed up.
Oh, sure.
They are close.
They work together all the time.
Otomo did not work on Animatrix.
Oh, okay.
To clear that up.
This was an off-camera conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I mentioned that at the top of the show. Okay.
No.
My bad.
Yeah. Okay. It's my fault for saying I don't remember the Animatrix and don't watch the Animatrix, even though I know it's precious to you both.
Yeah, go watch last week. Pause this episode. Go watch last week's episode. All 4 hours. Come back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, give me 3-4 hours,
and then watch the 3 hours that we talk about these three movies. I feel like I kind of vaguely remember the Magnetic Rose segment, but it might have just been the style of animation, because it looks like Akira.
Sure.
But also some of the character designs are reminiscent of like Ghost in the Shell and stuff.
Yeah.
For
sure. I watched it this week. I really enjoyed it. One of the shorts I found to be not like the other two, but I think we're going to be able to get a good conversation out of it. But that's pretty much it for me. I watched it this week, and it was delightful.
Cool. Let's go into production talk.
All right. Quiet on set. Are we rolling? Okay, let's shoot this piece of shit. Sound. Speed. Action!
This right here is the section of the show where we break down the production talk of the production of the movie. Typically, we would talk about one movie, but for this one, since it's 3 anthology films in one, we're going to sort of...
It's going to be different than last week because they all have a very clear structure and storytelling form that is basically just short movies, whereas the Animatrix is like some of them were 5 minutes long, and it was like, okay, let's move on to the next one, but we would still talk about it for a good amount of time. Whereas these ones are going to be like talking about individualized like episodes of Star Trek or something.
Sure. And these are not taking place in the Matrix, I don't think.
I don't think so. They could. Who knows?
They could.
Yeah.
The first one definitely could. Like they go off planet and find this other.
It's like a proto Matrix.
Yeah.
True. Actually, yeah. What the fuck? Matrix prequel.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, also, I felt like the first one could have happened off planet in the Akira universe or the Ghost in the Shell universe. But I just want to say about the box office that there isn't really any information about it. But it did fail at the box office. They did try to sell it internationally at a high price, but they couldn't find any buyers. So what I imagine would have happened is it immediately went to upper cable television channels in Japan and then on like Showcase here.
Yeah, I think it's, from my understanding, it sounds like it was kind of like the deal to get it done was back and forth and all over the place, and it kind of unexpectedly became a theatrical release, and like all of the animators were like, fuck, because they had to like work harder to make it look better. I think it ate shit theatrically but did well on video. And I think actually it came out on video here first, because that was me I was trying to figure out when I would have seen it. And it seems like there was a 98 pretty regular subtitled or dub. It's subtitled because the dub is actually with the Blu-ray. There wasn't a dub till recently.
There was a dub.
Yeah, but it's new. It's from the 2020s.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So you also watched the remastered version, which is like a tale of its own, because apparently... like, it's kind of interesting, and I think a little hard to get the Blu-ray. It seems a little pricey. $63, I guess, is kind of normal. But beyond the dub, they also restored it. But I guess compared to a regular animated movie, it was quite hard because of the CGI elements, which are like weird proto CGI. Like, I don't know if you've heard that they talk about like making a like 4K of Toy Story 1 is like you kind of just have to reanimate Toy Story 1 from scratch if you want to. And I want to make a video. There's a bit of that.
I want to make a video game sort of association with the Final Fantasy series where the backgrounds are static paintings.
Sure.
So they can remake the sprites all they want. They can put in new sprites, but that's like Toy Story where the whole thing is rendered, so you can't go in and like update it. You have to like, they're gonna have to do it artificially, or with that the thing that shall not be named on this show anymore.
But yeah, and actually, the interesting thing is, I was very funny because at first I watched the little featurette about making the HD remaster, and he showed all the stuff they did, and then I watched the original, and you heard the guy be like, "Oh yeah, we're using CGI here, but I'm working really hard to mask that it's CGI." And then in the future, you hear these guys being like, "Sometimes it was fucking impossible to tell it was CGI." And you're like, "Well, you did a good job, man, in Japan in 1986 or whatever."
And I will say this is based off 3 short mangas by Katsuhiro Otomo. So it was his own stories. Yeah. That he based off other stories, I guess.
Yeah, some of them are, and then also like I know Satoshi Kon has a writing credit. It's kind of confusing, but I think for the most part, it's like Otomo had this idea. Otomo gave it to people. It sounds like the individual directors did do some rewriting, because Koji Morimoto, that did Magnetic Rose, talks a bit about that they developed the backstories for some of the characters, because he said that the manga was very much somebody in this environment and it just happening, but there wasn't a lot of like character.
Okay. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention that relates to video games is this: in 1994, a bunch of Square Enix employees got together to make Chrono Trigger, and it feels very similar to like the idea of this forming a dream team of greats in their field, and then putting together something pretty great. Like those animes, you could make at least the first one. I want to know more about that world and the technology, and then the second one could have had an episode 2 of it.
Yeah, for sure. And you can see how at least the first 2 could be expanded into like I was saying, like Rujin Z that I'm comparing it to is like 80 minutes long, but it's a feature, and it's like either of those could easily be. I also think it's worth saying that the CGI, which is present, I think, in all 3, maybe a little less in the middle one, but that stuff, like the animator's describing it. None of us are animators here, so it's like I know Otomo is like known for being nuts because he like animated every single frame of Akira or whatever. It has like 8 times the amount of gestures than any other animated movie. And this one, I think, like the American animators making the HD version say that they made up CGI. They're like CGI movies were coming out in America, but they had like billion-dollar computers, and these guys were very much $0 budget Japanese guys, and they're like the CGI was just run out of like duct tape and a Mac, they're like we don't know how they even fucking did it. Like it's just like it's crazy that they did it. So it sounds like a lot of the stuff is like extremely cutting edge and extremely uniquely created, even if it's not something that our eyes as a layman can see.
The only thing I really noticed was the actual magnetic rose at the very end of the first one, and then the way that they show the hallways in the last one.
Yeah, the last one also seems like it involves some techniques that are like, you know how the old, I think a lot of it is actually like more of the weird old-fashioned animation style, but if you think of those big tables where they're like doing the camera, they showed actually a photo of one of the sequences, and it was like almost as big as a warehouse, and they were just moving a camera down a gigantic background image. And it was interesting because he's like, we did a lot of retakes, which is not a thing you think of in anime. No. Or like any animation really is like reshooting the physical plates of an animated film. So it's like, oh yeah. So that one again, it's like I could see that it's unusually animated, and I think especially as like a person just watching, you're like, oh, that's pretty cool character design. But you're not thinking that like, I think that a lot of the camera moves in that one are like unheard of in any animation. And it's like, oh, okay. So again, I think he's kind of obsessed with challenging himself. And I know at least one of the other directors is equally kind of a weird guy who produces these mixed kind of animes.
I just looked up the English dub cast for Magnetic Rose, and some well-known people, but mostly anime people, obviously. But Robbie Damon, the guy from Critical Role, is one of them. It's pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because it's like I think it's 2021 or something. The DVD came out, so it's probably modern,
fairly recent. Yeah, cool, very cool. I have absolutely nothing to add.
No, it's okay. I think all Japanese stuff is a little tough, where it's like you could read the like 400-page philosophical text that Katsuhiro Otomo put out, and I can like
speculate.
Speculate, or I can tell you like the 30-minute featurette Bandai put out in 1995 that I watched.
I guess we can get into the actual meat and or potatoes.
Right.
Potato.
Ho, 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 ho! Everybody back up, because here comes the body of the episode.
Ooh la la.
Steve, since you didn't have much to say in that last bit, do you want to tell us about Magnetic Rose?
Magnetic Rose. Sure. So Magnetic Rose is about basically like space men who are like space scrapyard workers.
Space Ghostbusters.
Yeah, they look like the real Ghostbusters.
They look like the real Ghostbusters.
They're not space Ghostbusters at all. They're space repairmen or garbage men who end up having to bust some ghosts. But they basically
Would
like
you say that they find out that busting makes them feel good?
I think in the end
Definitely.
they realize that busting makes them feel not
Okay.
good at all.
Yeah,
They did not like it. But they basically go to decommissioned satellites and space stations and they scrap them for useful parts and then they ice them, which is basically setting off like the equivalent of a tiny little black hole, I guess, or like a magnetic bomb. It's almost like the seismic charge from Attack of the Clones that comes out of Jango Fett's ship, where it just like creates a massive explosion and then sucks it all into nothingness. And that's their job. And they've been out for a while, and they get a distress call, a la Alien. Basically, they find a distress call coming from a sector of space that I think they say it's like no one ever goes there, and when they do, it's old. It's always the old guys that decide to do it, and their captain is an old guy, and he decides to do it. But they go to investigate
because they know the magnetic field, right? Like there's a
magnetic field there that's
field.
extremely dangerous,
Yeah.
and it can basically suck you into it and destroy your ship and kill you. But they get a distress call from this magnetic area of space that they have to go into to investigate. And when they do, they find a rusty old ship that looks like shit, and they go inside, and inside the ship they find what is like basically a very fancy like Parisian mansion. And it's haunted by holographic ghosts. It's like this computer program that has been set to basically sustain the memories of an actor. She's like an actor, opera singer, basically like a triple threat type woman who was extremely famous on Earth. And after
like
the
the
death,
Millennium Diva or something like that.
after the death of her husband, she goes into a depressive state and decides that she no longer wants to live on Earth and goes to space with just her memories to exist and subsist on this space station alone. And within the tale, it gets spookier and spookier and spookier, and you realize, oh my god, it's not just holographic ghosts. It's like the memories themselves have basically like turned themselves into an actual ghost. It's still very like grounded in the sense that there is some sort of computer element there, but it's like a ghost machine basically.
And she does have her little laser angels.
Yes, she has her laser angel. She's got
The little cherubs.
She's got everything she needs.
Yeah.
She's got fake lobster, fake wine, a laser cherub, and
I think the wine's real because it is gross. The guy drinks it.
Yeah,
they're all like, "Don't drink it." And he drinks
I got
it.
the impression that it was super gone bad. Like he was drinking
just like
vinegar.
ancient gone bad wine. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was a pretty good synopsis.
I mean, the only person that I need to impress is Zardoz.
Zardos approves.
Thank God.
Wow.
Saved us, guys. He would have laser cherubed us from space.
Yeah, that's true.
So before we get into this, though, I'm learning that Satoshi Kon, the person who took the original story by Otomo and wrote the screenplay for it, he wrote Paprika. He wrote Perfect Blue. He wrote Millennium Actress and Tokyo Godfathers. He's
He's
a
one of the
legend.
greats. Was unfortunately passed away.
He passed away. Yeah.
I've only seen Paprika. Have I seen Blue? I don't know if I have.
That's the one that Fincher took all the shots for.
Yeah, Black Swan is jacked
Black
from it, right?
Swan. But also, I think the screaming in your bathtub from. Anyway, whatever. He bought the rights to it to steal a bunch of shots on Satoshi Kon. It's back and forth whether or not Satoshi Kon approved of this. But yeah, it's a pretty early.
At least he bought it first, I guess.
Yeah, I also think that it's like maybe he didn't buy it from him, and maybe he's mad about that.
Yeah, but didn't Chris Nolan allegedly buy Paprika to jack stuff from?
I also don't know that actually gives you the right to. But yeah, I think that a lot of times people pay off people to not complain that something is kind of ripping them off.
Yeah,
I also think you're absolutely allowed to rip off stuff. And there's nothing to be
Lucas. Look at.
I think homage is basically like what film is and always has been since the beginning of time. It's very difficult to make things original, but like even the things that feel original half the time are inspired heavily by other things that people have seen before, right?
As the Bare Naked Ladies once said, it's all been done.
Sure, yeah. And I mean the funny one with this one is I was immediately like, oh shit, do I think that friggin' Event Horizon ripped this off? And then like within seconds of starting to Google that, I'm like, well, they're both ripping off Solaris. It's like, yeah, I guess there's like one kind of haunted ship alien idea that people kind of keep coming back to, and it's different versions of it.
Mm-hmm.
We got a TikTok style hate
I
comment.
know,
Oh, cool.
I'm paralyzed, but whenever your live broadcast comes on, it's so fascinating that I get up and turn it off. You kind of messed it up. That you don't say it's so fascinating. But.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea as well, but it seems like you'd have to be glued to the channel for this broadcast for that to work.
You're waiting for it
Or
to
like
come on.
hating it. It's a good comment if you're hating like a terrestrial TV channel.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, in this internet world, we got you. We got you because you're logged in, baby. Our sponsors are already getting your money.
Exactly. You probably had to watch an ad to make that post. So
Survey Monkey 2-factor authentication.
My 6 cents.
But yeah, so I mean, this one does seem like the big thing because like Satoshi Kon is that Koji Morimoto, the director. People probably know him for the super weird movie Mind Games. If you guys haven't done that, do that. It's like over the top, surreal, bizarre anime. It's like it's Mind Game, not plural, from 2004. He was a co-director on that. It's nuts. So I think that this one is like the biggest big names in anime. All these guys work together on Akira, but I think this one kind of stands out for the crazy crew.
This is the Chrono Trigger.
And this is also the one they joke that like my favorite jokes were Koji Morimoto is like the name of this project was Work Magnet because he made them work so much, and then he said that the magnetic field they were trying to escape is named Katsuhiro Otomo, which is like pretty good.
Mind Game 2004 is entirely available on YouTube for free.
Well, it's wacky. I think you guys would. Watch it because I think you'll like it. But also, I do think you could make a good episode of it because it's a real mind game, as it were.
We didn't do Paprika on this. It was just Cass telling us about it the first time she was on when we did Ghost in the Shell, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Many years ago.
How many Japanimation episodes have you guys done?
Japanimation.
Like 4, maybe, I think.
Okay.
Including this one.
Including this one and kind of last week.
Yeah. 4 and including this one, and this one counts as 3. So.
7.
Yeah. I mean, it's a different world, like truthfully, and it's so. I mean, especially nowadays, the pipeline is pretty wide open. It's kind of fascinating to see how much there is and how much you're out of it. I remember when we 3 worked together, one of our younger coworkers being like, "Hey, what anime did you like when you were a teenager?" And I just listed a bunch of stuff, and it was like I was saying, Fibber, McGee, and Molly. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And like all they talked about was anime, and I'm like, you guys don't know Bubblegum Crisis? And like,
yeah, you haven't seen Ram Na Half?
Yeah, you're just saying words, old man. Like it was very just like I think I truly was like truly. With an open heart, was like, I think my favorite when I was young was Dominion Tank Police, and they're just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, they expect you to say Inuyasha.
Naruto or Bleach would be like a huge pull probably for that crew.
Samurai Champloo.
Yeah,
that's too old for them. I think even
I had a roommate that loved Samurai Champloo.
Yeah,
the hell was that? Was that a gunshot?
I have all my windows open right now. It's just dumpsters getting slammed shut.
It's definitely guns.
It's got yeah. Now there's a giant cannon on top of my.
Yeah, I was gonna say Steve lives in the town from the 3rd movie. I'm trying to think if there's any other good Magnetic Rose facts because that was the one that again I think even like Otomo is like, it's probably the most intense one. Maybe I shouldn't have put it first, but he does have this weird. I mean, actually, an aspect of this whole movie that I think I was thinking towards the end, and I think when you hear him talk is kind of there, is I think it's kind of like Fantasia too, because each segment also has a different composer and also seems especially when he's talking about them, the music is very important. So like this one is all opera and that opera singer and different parts of Madame Butterfly, and that's part of the creepiness.
And the second one is like jazzy.
Yeah, like ska and
more
jazz.
Modern ska jazz.
Yeah. Though weirdly, I think this one is the person who went on to be what is that? Is it the Seatbelts? The people who did the music for Cowboy Bebop. Oh
yeah. Yeah, that's a good song.
That's kind of interesting. Yeah, so yeah, Yoko Kanno, who did the music for Magnetic Rose, went on to be in the band that is all the Cowboy Bebop stuff. Which is the crazy kind of jazz you get weirdly from the second movie, which is not a Yoko Kanno soundtrack.
Right, yeah. I like the music, and all three of them actually had really good music.
Yeah, and then even the weird techno at the end is a different composer because he was like, I wanted it. He's like, it's memories, but I wanted people to leave thinking that it was 1995, and they were raving.
And they had a rave.
Mm-hmm.
The music in the end credits and the opening credits, I'm certain I've heard on TikTok background music a million times at some point.
I mean, great. Like, not to break this down into more segments too, but fucking amazing opening credits. The weird like mix of animated and photos, and then the weird kind of morphing into the word memories.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's nine digits, and I saw 9 little images, and I was like, "Oh, cool! 9 more shorts." And then the first one kept going and going.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I see. This is more like a traditional anthology where it's just going to be 3 movies."
Yeah, I mean, it's also worth saying that I do think if I have, not to tip any critical hand, but it's long. This is like an over 2 hour, I think, animated anthology. And the first Magnetic Rose is like 45 minutes. That feels almost feature length, you know?
Yeah, and I think that maybe that was kind of the goal. They wanted to make one really blockbustery one, and then one slice of life, and then one weird one. And Animatrix did that, except for they did like a couple of each.
Yeah.
There's one that's 2 parts that for some reason they broke it into 2 parts in the Animatrix. Okay. And I was like, we just talked about it as one, and that whole segment was about a half hour. So
well, the Animatrix also was like kind of serialized when it came out, wasn't it? Like there was a way to watch it in chunks. Was there? Am I making that up?
I remember it just being a DVD thing. Like you just get the DVD and your Bob's your uncle. But Magnetic Rose opens with there's like a robot going to a space station and crumpling, and then it goes over to the Corona, and then it appears that these guys are like salvage guys, and then in the thing, episode 1, Magnetic Rose. Did you notice the little like vape that he's smoking? Looks like a modern vape.
Oh no!
I thought that was booze. I thought it was a flask.
A flask.
I thought it was like they were drinking like a weird space flask that has a straw because it'll like float out if they don't. So they have like but it could have been a smoking device. I thought it was alcohol.
Because the guy had the cigarette in his mouth, but I was like, he's never able to light that or everybody dies.
True.
But there's an emergency signal, and they're like, oh, where we are, there's no way that's possible. And they hear Madame Butterfly, and basically they're wondering if it's their own ship doing the SOS call. But I made a note here that the score is really good. There's like a distorted theremin kind of sound going on. It's very sci-fi, very weird and futuristic feeling. And they head into the SOS, and it's like this. It looks like if Saturn was made of exploded ship parts,
garbage.
Garbage. Yeah,
it's garbage Saturn.
There's like a middle part, which is like the main kind of base that they go into, and then my theory here is that this thing has just been sucking in matter as much as it can, and other ships and people have come to this over the years, maybe over the centuries.
I just assumed it was like other people who had been collected by her, and they are part of the memories now.
Yeah.
all their discarded ships, because there are like at the end when he's getting sucked out, there's a bunch of corpses that are flying by him, and at one point he goes like, "Other victims." Like he says it while he's screaming for his life. He goes, "Other victim." Like, okay, buddy, we get it. You don't need to tell us. We got eyeballs.
But they get up to the door. I thought it was interesting that you have to like show your ID and be like, I am going down onto this to pull salvage. But that kind of makes sense. They didn't do that in Anaconda though. They were like, we're going to get that ship.
But this is real space truckers. The weird like aliens to, I guess, the film Space Truckers itself. This idea of extremely professional truckers.
Not Anaconda, Ghost Ship was the one where they.
Oh, sure.
Well, Ghost Ship, they're looking for gold. They're pirates.
Yeah. Salvage is a virus with Jamie Lee Curtis. They're trying to salvage that ship.
That's true.
The ship that's been virused.
But I think Space Truckers is a good one because that it's very certain.
I don't know. It just feels like procedure is part of it, like the man. And I guess it's also worth saying that there's two guys, and one of them is like all business, and one of them is like the horny jokester who mostly seems like ready to get back to Earth so he can get his dick wet.
Yeah, he spends the majority of the movie in either a spacesuit or in just like a Speedo. There's two outfits.
He has that incredibly 70s like thin headband. I like that.
The
weird like I know it mostly from like X-Men characters. The weird
Forge.
Very thin headband.
A lot of kids in my middle school wore that.
Oh. Yeah, you know what? It was a very what was the fucking American Apparel really brought it back when we were young.
It was like they called it a bra strap, I believe.
Ooh, hot.
Which I'm like, is it though? And I'm why? And no one ever gave me a satisfying answer.
Matt Johnson from Nirvana, the band, wears
the he wears the thick boy.
The thick boy headband, which I think is interesting. It's part of his like look. I'm like, how do you end up doing that? Like what like how do you end up wearing a headband person? And
I will say that he used to be that you would only see him wearing that. And I mean out on the street. Like I mean not in character, not anything. He just
some people just adopt an affectation that it becomes part of
He used to be he also wore the arm things for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that I mean now he's jacked, but like as a huskier fellow, I must say I would be dying.
Maybe that's why he wore it, because he sweat a lot. So
maybe I guess they effectively were. I don't know.
Interesting. Maybe I should wear armbands. I get sweatier on my wrists.
I used to wear one all the time because when I first moved here to walk everywhere, and I just really liked the convenience of wiping sweat from your brow without getting it all over yourself like a gross monster man. Toronto is a hot concave jungle.
Toronto heat is oppressive. It's this summer has been pretty fucked. But I
used to track my walking through the city, and I would time it so that I knew where all the shadows were, so I'd switch sides of the street to go down alleys because I always knew where all the shadows were. And I was like, someone should make an app to tell you where all the shadows are when you're walking through the city.
You know how I know where all the shadows are? I look.
But there's certain stretches where you'd have no shade.
I mean, I would track maybe the stretches with no shade. That's what I would track. I think that'll do you better than shadows.
Right.
Did you guys, when they were going in, did you have a moment? I as soon as they found the first hologram, I was like, is this going to be a Event Horizon situation? And it kind of is.
I think what makes it unique is the weird thing of like, they very quickly are like, oh, it's a hologram. And then the fact that like the hologram ghost stuff kind of screws with them. The fact that they expect it's a hologram, but sometimes it's not a hologram, sometimes it's a physical entity, that's like what makes this feel unique compared to like Solaris, where it just is physically happening, and Event Horizon, where sometimes it's not, sometimes it is. And I guess Event Horizon is just magic. So
demons.
And ghosts. If you get too close to a black hole, it's hell.
Yeah. If you get too close to magnetic field, it's
also hell.
Hell too. And if you get too close to a thinking planet, it's hell.
I saw a TikTok today. I believe it was a TikTok. and I think it was today. Could have been any day this week. I don't know, but
Wow.
it was a guy. It was somebody who was saying like, is Event Horizon, does it take place in the same universe as Warhammer, and is it like a
Yes,
precursor
I've
to
heard that
Warhammer?
before.
Because in Warhammer, the technology they use to travel vast distances, their warp technology basically opens black holes and they travel through, but they have to have this specific shielding because when they're going through, it's actually like a hell dimension where like demons will possess everybody aboard the ship unless they have this special shielding. And it's like, this is basically what happens in Event Horizon. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. I guess basically they go in there and then everybody has a death orgy and then they all die.
Yeah.
So, fun fact in Warhammer, if you don't have proper shielding, everybody will fuck each other to death when they go into warp travel.
Yeah. The fun fact: you don't need eyes in Warhammer.
Yeah. You really
Or
don't.
testicles. They breed all those super machines to be sexless.
Ever since I realized the uselessness of my flesh, I longed for the machine.
The supreme ruler or whatever.
More blood for the blood god.
Yeah. We find out that it is the year 2092. So here in our modern day, we're almost there. In 95, 2092 seemed crazy far away, but 2092
yeah,
2026 doesn't
there's-
seem that far away.
there's multiple bits that are like, because I think the spaceship is from 2005, isn't it? That's also funny where you're like, oh.
Yeah. It's because in the 80s and 90s, people thought that human beings were going to continuously get smarter and smarter in the future.
Yeah.
They thought by 2005 a rich opera singer could have a fucking
A space station.
Death Star of her own. Yeah, they were just giving them away.
Man, even as a kid, I thought in 2026 we were gonna have everybody was gonna have there's gonna be freedom for all, and it's only we're in a dark
for a nice
situation.
golden period between 2012 and 2014, everybody did seem to be having equal rights, and then it all got sucked away somehow.
I mean, they were going to send us all on a space odyssey, but then the Twin Towers got hit.
That's true. Yeah.
that little baby was coming, and he's like, "Oh, forget about it."
No, I'm good.
Sorry, dudes.
Gets sucked back into the monolith.
Yeah. I got it. He goes to I don't know, Mars. He's like, okay, this is good enough.
He goes back to
enough.
his
There's nobody
white
here.
bedroom with an old man in a bed.
Yeah.
They're not ready.
Yeah.
And then we never were.
No.
But they head on inside. The technology seems older than what they're used to. They turn the oxygen on, and then the gravity. The gravity seems to mess with the system. There's the bit with the magnetic pull that's messing with everything too.
Yeah, and it makes it so the horny guy can't get out of his suit because it's like pulling down on him. And the guy's like, just get out of it. And he's like, but I can't get the buttons. I'm getting sucked down to the ground.
I think it's again the thing too, where the other guy's like a big military sort of dude, and the horny guy's like a wiener who doesn't practice and do things by proper procedure.
He just thinks about shore leave and only shore leave. Yeah.
As soon as he can bang a horny robot, he's in.
Yeah.
Going to the great beyond with that horny robot.
Yeah.
It didn't take much convincing.
No.
You can stay
I'm
with
in.
me forever, Carlo.
Yeah, and not even be like, I love you, current man. Just like, you also have to pretend to be my dead husband. Great, no problem.
I'm in.
The first
As long
thing
as
the
this
first thing
robot-
he sees when he finds a photograph of her kissing a man is he doesn't deserve her. Like he's already obsessed with her from seeing her hologram one time.
And
I
a
guess
lady
this-
who never wears modern clothes mostly. She's only
She's
dressed as Tosca permanently.
Or she's dressed as a streetcar called Desire,
Sure.
or Meet Me in St. Louis.
All those great operas.
Yeah. It's a musical.
They head into basically the ballroom. I had just watched The Haunting, and I was like, this ballroom reminds me of that the clown music room from The Haunting.
Right. I mean, it's a pretty standard, like it has like a Resident Evil vibe. It has an Event Horizon vibe. It has so many sort of, it's like layer upon layer of different science fiction-y horror things that exist in all of pop culture, but in a good way, because it also has sort of its own unique identity, which I quite enjoy. Like the picture behind you there, Cam, is like a great example of like, oh, they took something that I didn't, because everything is so colorful, and then this is sort of this really haunting void of all color. And
yeah, and it's like a weird like technological organic like it's like is it? I think
grab you and make you
yeah.
have hallucinations
And it's
stuff.
goopy, but it also kind of looks like 3D printer or something.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's brittle like 3D printer. That's funny
Yeah.
you say that. I was thinking that same thing.
it reminds me of like coral, like
Oh,
an
sure.
organic coral, and yeah, like but a computer using coral to
Sure.
make 3D shapes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's also one of those things where, like, obviously, as a static drawing, it makes sense. But I think, yeah, they like maybe interpreted it goopier or more rigid than you know, because once it's moving, it's got to look a different kind of way.
I think they landed on a really good vibe
it's
for it.
creepy.
Yeah.
They're very good. Like, it's worth saying that a lot of the, as silly as some of the like, you know, what's the thing from the others? Like, I am your daughter. Like, there's some sillier stuff like that, but for the most part, like the spooky stuff is genuinely like uncanny and upsetting, and like especially
which is kind of hard to pull off in animation.
Oh yeah, totally.
The Resident Evil Association is good because this whole place is kind of like the mansion from the first
For sure.
one.
Yeah.
And
Where like sometimes it's a spaceship, sometimes it's just an old timey mansion.
If you go into the basement, it becomes a
true.
facility.
Yeah, I guess Paul W.S. Anderson once again.
Yeah.
Every movie is just one segment from memory.
Yeah, it seems like everything's being either decommissioned down there or created down there and then forced upwards. But who knows how much stuff has holograms projected over top of it. Maybe the whole ship looks like shit.
Yeah, that's also, I actually had remembered that more, and I'm like, I had remembered that kind of like once everything goes to shit, you just realize the ship is all derelict. But it's like, no, not really. Yeah. It does keep up some of the beautiful stuff.
Well, they go down that hallway towards the middle point, which we're going to get to here in a second, but I'll just say that like he's like, oh, they didn't finish down here, and it gets progressively more destroyed until it gets to an actual like atrium that's completely wrecked, and there's like a pool of, I guess, oil or just cesspool. Like that's what I was thinking. Is like, is this like the sewer system of the of this like space ship?
Yeah.
But before we get to that, they in the ballroom there's a painting of a woman in red on the wall, and the windows, it's very ethereal feeling because the windows look like it's looking out onto the background from Windows. Did you guys kind of catch how the rolling hills kind of like the Windows background?
Windows 95.
I was going to say it presaged Windows 95.
Yeah, but I said, what is this place in my notes? But they see a woman. Miguel runs in and it's a hologram. He like hits the wall behind, which that was really funny. And he's standing like half in the hologram too, which they use that like visual moment a couple times in this, where they're just like there's clearly a hologram. They're just standing in it, trying to figure out what's going on. And as they see the woman and this all happens, a cherub statue approaches them and tells them that luncheon is ready. Which is great. So they go to the dining room, and there's food and drink on the table. There's like a big lobster and wine and fresh flowers and all kinds of food going on. And it's eerie, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, it's reminds me of a lot of horror movies. You know, like movies where they go in and it's like the most beautiful feast, and then they eat it, and then there's like maggots in it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like just, it's that kind of like a beautiful moment turned ugly, but only in this it's just like, I assume it's like wax or something, or it's just made of like
some of it's interesting because some of it he touches and it like melts like it was preserved, and then I think like the wine is just like you were saying old, because it also seems like the ship was in some sort of stasis till the minute they came in,
right?
And it is very
I guess the drinks bring back all the memories.
True. What if they just got drunk? That's possible.
Off of 400.
We were talking about their little flasks. I don't know.
It was interesting though. He turns on the faucet and like the black water comes out. And at that moment, he's like, "Do not drink that wine." And taking a giant swig of it and spits it everywhere because I guess it's got to be vinegar.
Yeah, it's also like up until that point, kind of possible that this ship just ran into distress recently. and the people are around or something. But that's when he starts realizing how old everything is, which is great in sci-fi again, because you're like, old is still ahead of us.
Yeah.
But as they travel through the ship, they're tracking the SOS still, and they get closer to where it's coming from. They use some creepy music box music for this because, of course, they do. This is when I was like, "Is this going to be?"
It's effective. I think creepy music box music never fails, especially.
And I mean, there's the good weird music box bit where he knocks off the little doll music box that smashes.
Yeah,
and you start to realize that this guy's crazy too.
Yeah. Which is recurring visual theme throughout, where he keeps seeing his daughter falling and over and over again. She falls through the ceiling, through the floor.
Yeah, I mean that's I think the best visual is this weird see. And actually, I think it starts with the little doll statue, right? Like he sees it just fall from the ceiling to the floor silently, and you're like, oh, okay. And it's like, I think at the time it still could be a hologram, but he's like, what the?
Well, that is because I mean, the first thing you see is the music box fall off, and the way he freaks out when it's falling to catch it, and then it shatters, and he has this like emotional reaction. And then you see a ghost of like a little girl fall through the ceiling into the floor, and again he has the same reaction. And I'm like, as it's going, and you get the flashback, I'm like, oh, maybe his daughter's dead, and this is why he's out here, and like he couldn't handle being back there with his wife anymore.
Yeah,
his daughter fell off the roof or some shit.
And I mean, they do that's the good like quiet setup they do of both guys, them being like, bet you can't wait to see all your girlfriends. Miguel, and then the other guy, they're like, how old is your daughter now? 10? And he doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
And later you're like, ooh.
I think she's dead. Okay. Yeah. I think she died.
And then somebody one of the guys on the ship makes a gross offhand comment, which is like,
Miguel, the guy that's with him, I think.
Yeah.
He's a pervert.
About, about potentially fucking his daughter when they get that terrorist.
I think what he says is, I don't like him that young.
I don't like him that young. Is what I was gonna let that one ride.
Yeah, to be fair, I think the other guys make a joke about Miguel fucking his daughter.
Jeez.
And then Miguel tries to cool it.
But this is the point where they what's the guy's name? Aoshima? Not Miguel, Aoshima. He finds the hologram of the woman singing, and then simultaneously Miguel goes into a closet and he puts his hands on like the dresses, and they're disintegrating, which was a crazy like moment for me where I was like, oh, this ship has been out here for probably 100 years.
I think the other guy is Heinz.
90 years or whatever.
Yeah, it's Heinz. Yeah.
Heinz.
Yeah.
Is the
he's supposed to be like German or something. Heinz.
Yeah. Aoshima was on the ship, I think.
The blonde guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
They say Aoshima so many times.
I think that's the person.
Heinz.
Yeah.
Oh, they're talking to the guy back.
Because Ivanov is the captain. I think Aoshima is the guy with the captain.
Okay.
That they're talking to.
Secret man. The guy in the Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
He's sideways.
Yeah, he's hanging up
because there's no up and down in space.
Yeah. The gravity in that ship doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. Who cares? He finds the dress is falling apart. I think is the most sort of effective first creepy moment for me, where they just start like completely turning to dust in his hands.
And then the doors close and he sees like a ghostly visage of the woman in red for the first time here, right?
She's getting roses for her performance, and there's a bunch of other ghosts around being like, you're amazing, you're so talented. And then she's like, but I couldn't do it without my loving husband Carlo. And then she puts the roses down, and that's when Miguel starts to be like, good.
Now
I'm in love with this ghost.
The important thing I gotta ask you guys: do you like that her husband is named after the guy who made E.T., Carlo Rambaldi, the special effects technician?
Is that?
Yes, I do.
I don't know that he's named after that, but Carlo Rambaldi has the same name. So it seems
like a pretty random name to land on by accident.
Yeah. He did King Kong, Alien, Close Encounters.
I mean, the fact that he's a special effects wizard for some of the most famous science fiction movies ever made, and the character is named out. I think that that's a pretty fair bet that it's named after him.
In this this segment is about special effects wizardry.
Yeah, I guess so.
Holograms and stuff.
I did check if the lady was also somebody, but there's only a modern day Ava Friedel that I don't think it could be named after, unless he knew a child who would grow up to be a gender sensitive psychiatrist.
You never know.
Could be.
But yeah, I call her. I always my ears perked up with Rumbaldi because I always remember the dumb alias thing, the Rumbaldi device. But Carlo Rumbaldi is the ET guy, or all those weird Possession he did the special effects for.
Awesome. Cool. That's a good tidbit.
See, that's a good way to name something after something in a movie without being egregiously perverted. Like, when people are like, "Uh-oh, they went to the old Savini house." Down on West Craven Avenue.
Yeah. Horror movies can't resist doing everybody is the problem. And then also there'll be a weird one where you're like, "Oh, pretty deep cut, all right."
Yeah. But, the deep cuts are when it's good, but it's like the milkman is named Mr. Romero.
Yes.
Don't worry, that's just Mr. Romero, our milkman.
Or even worse, it'll be like, "These are my two friends, George and Romero." And like, oh boy.
The guys on the ship do mock him, and they're like, "Oh, what, did you see a ghost?" And at this point in the movie, we're like, "Yes."
Yeah. The whole ship is full of hologram ghosts.
Even though Miguel's a goof, he's pretty quickly like, "It's a ghost."
Yeah.
But then he's just like, "I'm in love." He's doing the Dan Aykroyd blowjob.
Yeah, he's the one. He would be the Dan Aykroyd of the crew that gets the blowjob. But there's that scene where he's going up the stairs, and you see Miguel in a painting with the madam, which is pretty crazy. It's like a blink and you'll miss it moment as well, which I thought was great. And also I forgot to mention that Heinz goes into that room, and it's like all of her awards, and he's putting together who she was while Miguel is having an actual Ghostbusters moment.
Yeah, we're seeing footage and memories and articles,
newspaper clippings and stuff.
Yeah, and her husband killed himself, but under mysterious circumstances.
Which I think all of us at the same time while we were watching it went, "She did it."
Yeah. I mean, it's also she loses her voice, then turns into a dancer, and people don't really like the dancing because it's taking away from the guy. Then he dies.
And then they think it's crazed fans, but nobody ever knew. And then she left. And
then she's like, they're like, "Did you murder your husband?" She's like, "Excuse me, I'm going to space."
To space, no.
Where all crime is legal.
Yeah, I'm going to go to my space mansion.
Yeah. My memory sphere.
Oh, and then also, speaking of memories...
That's when they said the name of the movie in the movie.
So at 23 minutes and 57 seconds, they say, "and came here to live with her memories." But then after this, they say memories about 6 more times.
Yeah, I was going to say, they probably say memories. Heinz goes, "Memories?" Memories.
But also
technically, we all watched it in Japanese, so they didn't say memories. They
didn't. Yeah, it's true. Hey, subtitles said it. The dub would have said it.
It counts. Yeah,
it counts more than a lot of the ones. That
I would like to see the dub of this. I do like watching.
Me too.
Often, because a lot of the time I like picking up the voice.
See, I would feel weird because I think I would have dissonance because I'm so used to that era of dubs.
Right.
Because this is right before kind of, hey, what if we tried with the Ghibli ones? So it's the Heinz would be like, keep it moving, smart guy. And the other guy would be like, "Hey, Heinz, look over here.
Oh, you horny? I'm horny.
What a beautiful lady."
That's a good point.
Or it'd be like a woman doing a teen voice.
Right.
I like when the dubs talk way too fast for the amount of
or do the
what are you doing? Hey. I would have liked. I mean, I like the Ghibli edits a lot, the dubs.
They really, and they did actually go back and cover a few of the ones that were subpar.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been interesting if they were to give this the Ghibli treatment and have, you know, like A-list actors covering all the roles. That would be cool.
I mean, they do say that the point of the dub was to try to raise the profile of this movie and hope more people find it accessible. I also do think it's like this is always the subs dubs thing of like a movie like this where so much is dependent on like doing new kinds of animation and weird visuals. You can always make the argument that like, yeah, if my head's buried in a darn book. But I also think this movie, probably 75% of the runtime is silent. No dialogue. Dialogue is not hugely important to this film.
I think for me, it's like I like usually watch the sub first and then the dub later. But I do like seeing like the different interpretations because like sometimes it's completely like certain bits of dialogue will be completely rewritten just to fit into sequence of what's happening.
Totally.
And I like to see that kind of stuff. But
and localization too.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. You remove all the Shinto talk, and you know, it's not.
I like in the next one we'll talk about when we get there when it's like, "Hello, I am an American." All of a sudden, but he's got. Like,
I did like that where they're just speaking in English. I also love the thing where it's like, "Yeah, brother." In 1995, the head of our military was a black man. Like the coolest looking black guy. He
looks like
9 feet tall.
He kind of looked like Rampage Jackson a little bit.
Yeah,
the UFC fighter.
I'm like, I guess Colin Powell was probably around, but
that's true. Yeah,
he's not that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious about the dub. What I found out after, but you know, I say that kind of stuff for like Legend of the Overfiend, where I need my. I only half paying attention. Am I right, guys?
Sure.
Any hentai fans in the chat?
Yeah. Well,
give me a shout out. Yeah. What? But kids today don't like tentacles?
Do they even use tentacles in hentai anymore?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
That's the biggest question. And where are the tentacles in hentai these days?
Yeah. If I want to avoid it, what website would I stay away from?
My day, they were ooey gooey and wriggling, and that's how we liked it. 1994.
If they want those birth rates up in Japan, they gotta bring back ovipositors, tentacles, all of them.
Ninja scrolls.
I'm not gonna say.
Where are the ninja scrolls anymore? Actually, the problem is there's like a 48 episode Ninja Scroll series on Netflix that they've produced 9 times.
It killed all of the libido of everybody.
Yeah.
All the weebs and the people who live in
number
Japan.
8 at the box office is Ninja Scroll like, Redux. Ninja Scroll versus Naruto. Why don't they versus anymore?
Versus K-pop Demon Hunter.
Oh my god. With 3 vastly different things, just finally having a battle royal.
But at the same time, I'm like, it's very funny to me that Ninja Scroll loomed so large because, like, I couldn't tell you, he's just fighting a bunch of shit, isn't he? Yeah. It's not like I'm like my favorite character, Ninja Scroll.
Ninja Scroll. No, everyone's favorite character is the people's clothes getting cut off slowly during combat.
That's true.
That's what I remember from it. I think there's like some mess.
Everyone remembers from it. The only reason we watched it.
The woman gets her boob cut off or something.
I don't remember that part, but probably.
I suggest if you're listeners, if all those people out in listener land want a weird live action movie that does that, there's a crazy 1981 kung fu movie starring the actual female martial arts champion of the world called Firecracker, and it's from the Philippines. And there's definitely multiple fights that are the classic Simpsons, like, oh no, the Cyclops ripped off my clothes. But then she will nude brutalize somebody, and you're like, like this is not sexy. It's just like it's wild, and it has one of the craziest like kung fu deaths I think in anything. It's a wild, silly film.
My brain is thinking of new themes for new months.
Yeah.
Ripped
Wacky kung fu.
Naked Fighting Month. We got what's that movie with
what's the Cronenberg
Viggo Morrison?
Yeah.
Where he's scissor kicking in a shower. Yeah.
Number 1 naked fight.
Yeah. I mean, my clothes are getting in the way.
Yeah.
The magnetic field picks up and they lose contact with the corona. Miguel, I was talking about this earlier. Miguel goes down that hallway. He ends up in like a wrecked place with an oil river. It reminded me a little bit of the River of Ooze from Ghostbusters 2, because by this point in this short, I'm like, this is Ghostbusters. I'm connecting it to Ghostbusters, and they're going to get mad at me on the show for doing this. But he finds an old destroyed piano, which I thought was very eerie.
I just
cool.
pictured you putting in your earbuds and like just putting on the Ghostbusters soundtrack, like ding, 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 ding.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to.
Yeah, I like that it's also specifically 2. It's not 1.
Too hot to handle, too cold to hold. You call the Ghostbusters and they're in control.
I've got a real other tangent, but related to this. I had to watch Men in Black 2 today, and man, oh man, the song from Men in Black 2, like, oh, we all remember the banger. Here come the guys in black. Nod your head. Jeez. For all the faults of Men in Black 2, the biggest fault is probably that song is such a dud.
Oh my God. That's a series of movies that just get worse and worse.
No, the third one rules.
I actually think the interesting thing is I think rewatching the second without high expectations, you're like, yeah, this kind of fits with the third.
At least it's got a Balchinian.
Oh, the ball. But like a good effect. The weird, wild thing is you can see, because I know a lot of it's like it's rushed, but it's like some of the special effects are like oof.
Right.
It's like Sharknado stuff is happening, but sometimes it's fine, and they'll pull out the Balchinian, but then he'll be riding on the subway, and it's like it looks like some guy finished it the minute before it premiered. It's actually crazy.
We got to get this thing out in 45 minutes. Like, I'm almost done.
Yeah. Too late.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
So much like Memories and the Magnetic Rose.
So, yeah, the piano seems to be playing itself, and it seems to be the location of the SOS. So he goes to touch the piano, and it turns into a beautiful garden, and Eva shows up and gives him a smooch. And he's dead now forever.
Garden. I guess, like this is where I was a little bit confused about. Does he die and become part of her memory, and then she's now like, or does she hypnose him and he's like immortalized?
Well, he's kind of alive because doesn't he run into him later and he's just hypnotized?
He's when Heinz shows up to this, he's just like, we're together now, and I love you. And there's nothing there. He's just tripping out in the sludge pond,
in the goo,
in the goo.
But the
goo is sucking him off. Simultaneously to this, Heinz goes up an elevator and ends up on a stage, and the scene behind you. And this is where we get some insight into his life. He's got a family back on Earth or whatever planet, and he gives the daughter a spacesuit, and the daughter wants to come to space with him. And you get the impression that like he had to go on this mission to make money into space. We also saw a little girl come, like very ghostly, come down from the ceiling earlier. And when you're like, what kind of haunted house are we in? Turns out it's this girl. But she stabs.
This is why I think she's dead.
What kind of sick haunted house is it? You got kid ghosts, you fucking pervert.
But yeah, I don't know. I still think that she might have been dead. And like the reason he's like gone.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. This is the Solaris stuff, I think, where it's like taunting him with the
happy memories,
the images of the dead. Because I also think if I'm like expanding the Andrei Tarkovsky stuff, I think the house and stuff it shows when eventually kind of the next thing is it starts building a whole home and just fully. I think they even show his wife. She briefly becomes his actual wife. And that stuff looks like Stalker, if you've seen that. That's kind of the house from Stalker that they go to, which is like weird, like depressing Russian sort of European. That's kind of an interesting thing where there's only seemingly one Japanese crew member. This is all pan-European people or stuff like that.
I like this theory. So
Theories.
Wow, the daughter's dead.
The daughter is dead.
I think that this is text. This isn't even theory.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just what happened.
You know, Jason, how you're always telling your kid something and then immediately going up on the roof, and just
we did that earlier
leaving
today.
her window wide open. And...
Right. So, yeah, they talk about going to space at this dinner, and he's having a memory. And then there's this like substance that is forming his memories, and that's the scene in behind you. He gets stuck for a second, and then he just starts blasting away at it with one of his like. I thought that they were going to be like the guns from Dead Space, but it turns out they're just.
I thought
guns.
what I thought you were going to say is I thought they were going to be like the guns from Ghostbusters. It's just a machine gun.
Yeah.
Which the gun from Dead Space, not a gun. It's an engineering tool. You do get guns eventually, which is much more similar to this gun that he uses. But also this moment where he blasts apart those two statues behind you there, Cam. One of my favorite things in all of anime is when somebody uses a machine gun to blow pieces apart, and it's slightly slower than how it would be in reality, but it's just so satisfying to see.
It looks awesome
to see animation at work in such a clean and satisfying way. I love it. Like the chunks being blown away, the smoke that comes afterwards, the pulp marks of the blasts. It's so good. Probably my favorite moment in the entirety of the movie is when he blasts apart the stable. Animation wise,
I would agree with that.
Oh yeah, all this. I find this weird leftover stuff. The leftover memory crap is looks cool, is weird, and definitely when he's tearing it apart or stuck in it or like wrapped in it, it's creepy.
Yeah, his gun when he pulls his gun out of it as well. It's like being grown over, trying to be absorbed by it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the other thing that I like, just like a little moment, is the fact that he has this like assault rifle with a giant flashlight on it, and Miguel, who's freaked out, has a little gun with a tiny flashlight. Yeah, very funny.
So,
I'm sorry.
Oh, here we go. So yeah, he gets stuck. He starts blasting.
I thought you were gonna play a drop of Steve's gonna sneeze. Steve's allergies are getting to it.
It's that time of year.
Zardoz is here to say sorry while you're out.
God bless you.
Yeah.
On the ship, the magnetic field is sort of messing with the instruments. They're sort of getting pulled in now, and they're yelling back to the guys on the magnetic rows to bail. Basically, you guys got to make your way out of there. And they can also.
I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
About the lower parts of the ship. This is something that I was thinking about, and I had forgotten until just now. But everything in the ship that is like high quality or whatever is based off of her actual memories that existed in her life. Do you think that the stuff down in the bottom is stuff that she's trying to create sort of like creatively, like she doesn't have the ability to create things that she hasn't seen before, so because there's no memory there, that's why it's all weak and full of shit and like dripping, and it's just sort of like a nightmare version because she can't quite have that memory to build it from her thoughts?
I think that the ship up top used to look like that, and she can only create that much of it, and down below it's just decayed. So similar to what you're saying, Steve, but it's not that she's trying to recreate it. That's just what it looks like. It looks like an old dungeon.
The reason I say that is because there's this one shot of him as he's coming down the stairs, and there's like a statue of her, but it's incompleted, and it looks like it's been tried to over and over to build out the arm and the hand in a particular pose, but she can't quite do it. Like the 3D printing just can't reach. It's not able to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a sewer.
A sewer. This is where memories go to die.
Well, it's her piss and shit.
Right. Sure.
You got to store it somewhere.
For 30, 40 years of piss and shit.
Yeah,
Lady Eva, where would you like me to take this shit?
Yeah,
in the shit.
I mean,
hole.
I guess an interesting aspect that you do bring up is maybe I missed it, but it's not like we ever. I feel like stories like this, it's often about like you're going towards like a skeleton in a spacesuit or something, and like that's where the body is. But we kind of never get that. Like it
No.
is just. Do we?
Yeah, they show her at the end.
They
in
show her at
bed.
the end. Yeah.
Oh, but it's like a statue or something with a.
No,
it's
body
it's a
with
real
her-
sort
okay.
of Citizen
Yeah.
Kane ending.
Yeah.
Where she's in the bed and she's like a skeleton.
Yeah. She has the rose. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is just that again.
But I mean, even the image behind UCAM is like she's creating this image from a like combination of his memories and her memories, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It is interesting, and it is interesting that at first she like kind of. I think this part is like she kind of offers him, oh, you can have your family with me.
Yeah.
And then when he rejects it, she starts taunting him with the memories of his daughter dying. But it is interesting that at first she's like, I'll just have both of these guys. Like this is like a like a weird honeypot that she's been running for every salvage crew that comes.
She was able
by.
to get the first guy real easy. Just be like, just flash your tits and he'll be
Just
there. And
flash
then this
your
one's like,
boobs.
this guy's a little more complicated. I need to.
I think that this has happened many times because there's a shot at the end where they're at the door and there's all the other people there, and for a second you see them as like skeletons. But now you make me wonder if they were skeletons or if they were like this recreating goo stuff with the hologram over top. Like, is this some sort of futuristic thing that holograms can stick to and be made to look real over top of it? Because we see her as a robot, but the rest of this place seems to be like an illusion. So it's very interesting to me, and I want to know so much more than we get.
Yeah,
but now lives in my memories.
I mean, I assume it's like because it is tech based, right? Like this isn't all ghosts and magic. It's like she's building shit. She builds his house. She's 3D printing the house, and then she's hollow projecting the daughter. And so, because even when he goes down and finds his daughter dead, he's trying to grab her, and his hands are going through her. Like,
that's why this is an animatrix to me. That's why this would fit perfectly on that.
Sure,
it feels like
she's a bit of a Merovingian.
Architect.
She's not an architect. She's like a shitty architect.
Yeah. She's not the architect. She's an architect.
She's like the she's like the Merovingian. Yeah, because remember the Merovingian makes that cake that makes
the orgasm cake. That's like
the orgasm cake.
Because you're like, well, you're just like, what is this guy's deal? And you know that there's like somewhere there's a graphic novel I didn't read, and I know that they kind of brought it back for like 1 second in the new one.
Yeah, and he's like a real bum now. He's got like a crazy unkempt hair and beard, wearing garbage bags on his feet, and no more of that. She wasn't kissing your face, my dear. Lipstick on my pee-pee.
Yeah. Once again, we're back to the ghost style. Oh, so you like eating worms, Michael?
But they can hear the stuff from the ship in the Corona now, and Heinz gets chased by the cherubs that look like little little spaceships now. Like
I mean, it's very funny. Like, why did you? If this lady wasn't evil, why did she put explosive lasers in the eyes of her serving trays? Like they seem to be there to serve you food.
It's like an end table that moves around and gives you lobster,
but also can
blow a hole in your chest.
Speed explode the entire ship.
Miguel gets fully seduced. Heinz finds him and his gun away from him. He's tripping balls in the water, and then it looks like he gets crushed by a thing coming down, but the ship is now trying to like destroy them by throwing stuff at them, I guess, or that's what I interpreted. And the Corona outside is getting smashed by debris, so I think the magnetic field is starting to just pull everything around it in, and that may also be affecting the people on the ship. The magnetic field might have something to do with like the way the hologram works, maybe. And then there's like where the magic of this all kind of comes into play for me a little bit. Like there may be some sort of combination of like a magnetic field and a rope turning a robot rogue, which I know isn't magic, but it's still hard science fiction, right?
Yeah.
It's like she inputted her consciousness into the computer, and it developed some sort of AI capabilities or whatever, right? Where it's like it's trying to do everything it can with the memories that it has, and it has become obsessed with getting more memories so that it can create more stuff.
Yeah, and Miguel gets brought to that door with the group, and it's all her memories, and then Miguel is just gone. And Eva appears and says Carla will live with her in her memories forever. Then he fights her with his gun, and she battles back. We see him lose his ID and his gun, and then his house is created. This was the part you guys were talking about a minute ago with his house and his daughter, and we see the thing with her falling off the house. That's when I realized it was the little girl from earlier. I finally just clicked there. This is so short that like all of this is happening in rapid succession. And then he's reunited with his daughter very briefly, but she's trying to pull him into the beyond as well. But he manages to see his ID and get kind of clicked back into reality, and she falls off the roof. And it's all, you know, he tries to catch her, she falls through him, and he's like having a, you know, existential crisis about all of this. And that's when he shoots the woman. Turns out that she's a robot, and the hologram disappears, and it starts fluctuating around. Like after the robot gets hit, everything sort of starts to decay, and the ship gets sucked in. The girl turns to light, reveals the computer that was the thing that had gone mad, and Eva actually resurrects through all of this, which is crazy. And
I think he literally says, the computer, it's gone mad.
Yeah.
Which is fucking great.
It's apparently this was written in the 1960s, the 1960s sci-fi comic.
I love that shit though. The computer,
Yeah.
it's gone mad. It's very good.
Right. So the corona's still exploding, and Eva uses her singing power on Heinz. And basically the ending of this is the corona being sucked in. All the victims give her applause. We see her in the bed with the rose and the memory of her and Carlo. As it zooms out, we just see the debris that has now formed an actual rose, and with Heinz floating away in space. And that's
But he's still alive.
Yeah.
Heinz's soul still burns.
Welcome back to the stage of history.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole thing is like that he chooses to reject his pleasant memories, and that kind of saves him, I guess. But
I do like that when like he's, you know, the hologram of his daughter dies, there's this sort of pink orb that goes up into the machine, which to me, again, I was like, oh, that's sort of a representation of his memory being stolen, not necessarily from him, but like copied and put into the computer. I also I thought when they shot the beam into the ship at the end that it was going to be another icing event where it like sucks the whole ship. So I was like, oh, this is like sort of a slow motion version of him getting sucked into their miniature black hole. And it's like, no, they just blasted a giant hole in it and was like, gotta go. I do like that it also is like she's singing like Puccini or whatever while she's just like watching him struggle to hang on before getting sucked into space. It's all very very cinematic and operatic and cool. It's just like a very intense, it's like overly melodramatic, but to the point that I'm like, I like this though. This is cool.
I like it as well. Yeah. If you guys had to give it a rating and like rate it out of the 3, where would you put it?
Oh, I think I'd make it number 1 for sure.
Me too. Yeah,
I do. I like the other ones, and I think I've grown to like them more. But yeah, I think that this is just.
I also I particularly like this one because I could see this being like a 2-hour feature length movie, and you just add a couple more characters and maybe have a bit more of a slow burn on the revelation of what's happening within the ship itself, and even just have like a good 45 minutes of getting to know the crew before they even arrive at the magnetic rose. Like you could really
or some horror style kills for a couple of the crew members.
Sure,
get killed in unique ways.
The risk is it turns into Ghost Ship or Event Horizon, and it's all really corny. But like, I think if they kind of maintained the vibe that was going on in this movie, they could have something special. But also, as just like a 45-minute short, it is already something special, and it's pretty good, man. I like it a lot.
It's very good, yeah.
Yeah, and like we say, that's like pretty early Satoshi Kon, pretty early of the composer as well. So it's kind of this. That one is kind of, I think, compared to the other two, which are interesting. This one is much more the like launch pad of these people.
Yeah,
and a lot of really great, intricate animation too.
Oh yeah, yeah. And again, like this is the one where it's a lot of CGI, but the CGI is like integrating different cells and stuff, or it's the room. Like I think that there's like one bit where like the ballroom, and like you say, some of the exteriors of the ships feel a little, but I think they're also doing fun stuff where quite often the CGI stuff is through the monitor of the spaceship. So it's like degraded in a way where it kind of works.
I was gonna say something similar where every time they show the rose, it's almost taking up the entirety of the screen, and the focal point is the corona in front of it. So your eye is drawn to the corona and not necessarily the CGI mess in the background, and it doesn't come off as a mess because you're more worried about the corona getting ripped to shreds than what's going on with the rose in the background.
Yeah.
So you finally see it from far back at the end, which
That's
I was like,
honestly like when I was watching it, my brain was aware. my brain was aware that it was CGI, but then that last shot where you see in the distance where it is the focal point, I'm like, oh, it's a CGI ship, and then I'm like, oh wait, it's been a CGI ship the whole time, but I was just not focused on it entirely.
And they do the fun thing too, where like you see the rose, and then you also see the petals floating in Heinz's helmet.
Yes,
that are like fresh, and it's weird. And you're like,
it is, but also when he's shooting the ship at the end, the computer is completely overgrown with like new foliage and like flowers that are growing there, and it's like, is it real? Is it a hallucination? Are there still holograms all the way out here in space?
The evil flowers out here in space? Was it flowers all along?
It could be. That's what it turned out to be in Halo.
True. Yeah. There's been a few evil flowers out there. I also feel like, I don't know if you guys were ever into Heavy Metal magazine. I feel like this ending is this whole segment is very heavy metal, but I also feel like just abruptly being like, and it's a rose, and he's just floating. It's like, oh, that's very heavy metal. Like they're just not very satisfying. Just kind
it ends like an SNL
abruptly.
sketch.
Yeah, sure.
But I kind of like this sort of ambiguous ending where it's like he could be alive. They all could be alive.
Oh yeah. I mean, and also I think it's much more likely that only he is alive. But yeah.
But he won't be for long because he's floating in space, unless he can find a piano out there to be like ding, ding, ding to call a new ship to come.
He starts tricking people.
Oh God.
Cool. Well, do we want to move on to the next?
Sure. I do want to tell you guys that I did find a list on Letterboxd of the greatest naked fights in cinema history, and there are 52 entries.
Oh my God! Jason's been doing this for years.
Eastern Promises is ranked number 2.
Holy shit!
And
we're going to alternate months of anthology films and naked fight films for the rest of the show.
Vigo kicks so high that you can see the gap between his ball sack and his butthole multiple times.
His taint.
Yeah. Wow.
The first ever recorded taint in film.
I don't know if that's true.
I know it's definitely not true.
Probably truly a film from 1900 to whatever. They love
they're like just filming
naked people. Yeah.
Haven't you seen The Taint starring Buster Keaton?
Yes, actually, it's my favorite movie. We put it on every year at Christmas. But yeah, I in summation, great film, great opening short, and then everything changes for the. Not better or worse, but just it becomes more of a slice of life style anime, and we go into
really a slice of life. Jason, did you fart so horribly that you had to evacuate Tokyo?
I mean, I don't know how deeply you guys researched, based on a true story. Vaguely.
It's probably about a really bad fart, I assume, right?
They say it smells good at first, or like is somebody cooking, and they're like, no, not quite. I have to go.
We need to appease Stardust or Stardust.
You appease Stardust while Daddy does something.
Okay, I gotta check on baby.
I gotta go check on baby. Okay, so yeah, Stink Bomb. The Stink Bomb is a story about a low-level lab technician, I guess, who is horribly sick with the flu, and he needs to not be sick anymore, so he goes to get an injection from his local doctor, then goes back to work because he is a hard worker, I guess. He's trying to impress his bosses and stuff like that. He's trying to climb the ladder of lab science. But when he gets there, somebody tells him like, well, why don't you take some of the over-the-counter stuff that we've got and maybe take some of the experimental stuff that we've got and see if it works with your flu. And he takes a mysterious pill and he passes out. And when he wakes up, everybody in his entire workplace is dead or asleep. I don't.
Dead.
I mean, they look pretty dead, but they keep saying that they're unconscious.
Okay.
But I don't. I think you're right. I think they are dead. They're quite pallid, and their eyes are open and rolled back into their head, and their mouths are open. They look horrifyingly dead. And this leads to him having to take the medication that he took to Tokyo at the behest of the employers that employ him, or the people that own the facility.
Yeah.
And
They're clearly trying to cover something up, and he's like, "Yes, sir."
It's so obvious, and he's the most oblivious character in history. Like, not even by the end of this movie does he understand that he is the villain of what's happening within the story, because he's giving off some sort of odor that is causing everybody around him to die. And so it's basically the story of him leaving his workplace, getting to Tokyo to deliver the package to them, and the destruction that he causes along the way, paired with all of the people attempting to stop him because he's basically a Godzilla, a tiny little Godzilla. Yeah, I think that's right.
Did that please your master?
I'm not sure.
Zardos approves.
We made it again.
Sounds like it did.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to kill a little time before, I think it's not based on this, but there is an interesting thing that people point out, that in 1994 there was this case around this woman, Gloria Ramirez, who showed up at a hospital, and when she came into the hospital, anyone who treated her passed out.
Oh.
She was a cancer patient. She was like treating herself with a chemical, and apparently that chemical mixed with the oxygen they put on her released a gas that knocked people out. And somebody like went into intensive care. Nobody died, but yeah, it's kind of fascinating that's and there's been multiple.
Did she?
There's like she passed away.
Okay.
Yes, but no, but she was awake, and they couldn't figure it out for a long time. And people at first thought that it was like mass hysteria, but they've like since done stuff and come up with a theory that multiple doctors agree. But yeah, apparently there's a Grey's Anatomy, there's a Murdoch Mysteries where they use this case of the person who makes people pass out.
I wonder if there's a House episode.
Maybe.
They did like 10 seasons of that show.
Well,
They did an Aliens episode of House. There has to be.
So there's the giant tonal shift, as you guys probably already talked about, but this was
We didn't actually, but I mean, I think just in the description alone, which Zardos approved of, by the way.
I heard that. I had my headphones on as I came back.
It is a lot more comedic in both visual style and animation style, as well as musically, and the camera angles that they've decided to go with, and pretty much everything is a lot more. There's a lot more goofs per minute than there was in the previous one.
Yeah, this one's a comedy, and it's a military satire, and it's. Have you guys ever seen the anime Golden Boy? Do you know what that is? This reminded me of Golden Boy is this anime about this kid who he's just like needs to study to be the best, and he just wants to keep studying, and he rides his bike around, and he goes to school.
You know what, I have seen.
It's seduced by a teacher. It's like a short. It's like probably
and it's
like
kind of a parody of being a good student too, right? Like he's just like, I must be,
But he's terrible at everything.
And women keep trying to fuck him too, right?
Yeah, it's got a little bit of that.
Oh, I've seen this as well. Yeah.
Like the hot teacher is like, he's like, I gotta study. He's riding his bike. This brand of comedy kind of reminded me of that, because this is very satirical, and the fact that it's just like this guy just trying to, get rid of his flu, and he takes this experimental drug and ends up creating a toxic smoke cloud. I wanted to ask you guys, and you probably mentioned it in the opening, are these people dying?
Yeah, we don't. Yeah.
So there's a couple of times where he keeps saying they keep passing out, but I think maybe it might be that he's just in denial that they're dying around him, because they look pretty dead. Like everybody looks like they're pale.
They're like,
their eyes are open, their tongues are hanging out of their mouths. I don't think that they're just asleep. I think that they are dying. But there's never like a confirmation to that. I don't recall. But he says like he's passed out. I don't know. The doctor's passed out. But yeah, pretty sure that that guy's dead.
Yeah,
Along with
that's what I was
everybody
thinking
else.
too.
Yeah, also just
Like
could
the
be a trend or like a translation issue, you know.
That's true, yeah. But yeah, I mean, either or, he becomes basically a walking stink bomb that gets worse and worse and worse the longer that he is, I guess, not exposed, but like the longer that he is left to gestate. He's becoming more powerful, and the weather is working in his favor to carry his gas around the country and knock people out wherever he goes and it goes. But yeah, it starts with him basically at the local clinic, and he's complaining about the flu, and the doctor gives him an injection, hoping that it'll cure whatever illness he has. But then he decides to go to work anyway, and he's flirtatious with the receptionist. She seems to reciprocate. It seems like a fine relationship, I guess. I don't know.
not weird, yeah.
It's not weird. But then his coworker, which I like, I really like the cramped nature of this lab. Like, it doesn't feel like it's a super high end laboratory. You know, it doesn't seem like a super clean zone, but they have alarm systems in place for like any sort of biological inconsistencies in the room. But I like his like weird little lab assistant or not assistant, but like just his coworker who's like got his butt sticking out way too far as he's squinting into the microscope. Like, the animation style in this one is pretty charming.
Really good character faces.
Everybody feels very unique. I mean, the other one had that as well, but it's kind of more sort of like boilerplate in terms of what you think of like anime. This is like Cowboy Bebop. This is all the stuff that, you know, that's like mature anime, and this is more like cutesy, but everybody has a very distinct
The character designs reminded me of like Astro Boy.
Sure.
Of the like the humans in that.
Yeah, it's very cartoony, but while also sort of maintaining this like super heightened level of detail for everything, right? Like,
well, when the military comes in,
the lab is so cluttered. The costumes have little bits and bobs all over them. Everything just feels like an actual space that you would go into in like the 90s or whatever. Like an office space in the 90s feels. I don't know if you ever like, if your parents ever worked in a place that was like full of cubicles and stuff, and you would go in there and like everybody had their own customized space and everything, and it was just like a collection of everybody's bullshit like brought into the workplace. Like, that's kind of how it feels successfully done here.
When the military comes in, though, they're a weird juxtaposition to the rest of it, because they look very rigid and very official compared to the other people. Like, his grandparents look like old people from an anime, from a comedy anime.
But I mean, even the military, the characters, like when they're wearing their gas masks and
that's what I mean.
Stuff
yeah.
like absolutely, they look threatening and scary, and then when they take their masks off, they look like cutesy anime people, which is like I love that juxtaposition. It's so good. Like, it makes it so much more effective for me. Like, if they had that sort of Ghibli-esque gas, like, you know, the last one, how everything is very like hyper stylized, whereas in this it's like, no, we're gonna make it seem like there's some utility to everything here and everything has its purpose. Everybody's wearing a gas mask that is like so overly drawn, but like in a successful way. But also, I love that their gas masks don't do shit. Like, it's like getting through their skin or something. Like, I don't know how it's working, but it's working.
And everything is so absurd in this too. Like, when the whole military, every kind of military weapon is firing at him, they're just all missing him. And I was like, is this like a Mr. Magoo thing where he's like, he's got the luck of just getting out of the way at the right second, but he's also so clueless about everything that's going on that it's just funny to me, right down to the last minute where he's like, hey guys, I brought the stuff you asked for.
I was
like, no!
convinced he was like, I knew he was going to be in the suit, but I was convinced that he was going to be evil. Like, like, I thought he was going to be a bad guy at that point. It's like, no, he's still just an idiot. This guy is a dumbass. Like, he's so stupid.
Well, I mean, I think that a lot of this is like, this is the most like political, like I guess the next one too. And the interesting thing is that these two are both kind of dealing with like a pretty classic trope, I think, in a lot of Japanese stuff, which is this kind of trauma of World War II, where it was not the trauma of like Germany, where they were like, well, we all became pretty evil. I think a lot of the Japanese trauma is like, we have a society that's built on following orders and doing what you're told, and all it takes is like a bad person being in charge of telling you what to do, and suddenly you become evil. Because like, yeah, this
But
guy's
also-
not at fault. It's like his boss is trying to cover up that they were
Yeah.
making a chemical weapon is what screws them, because he's just
literally
trying
just
to
following
give them-
his orders
Yeah.
that he's been given. Yeah.
And
But
then
also they got nuked
go all the
into
way down.
oblivion, and all their animation went from things like,
Yeah.
you know, Maya the Bee style
Sure.
and, you know, like nice
Yes.
kids animation to Akira style stuff.
Yeah.
Because the last one had a real that kind of vibe, and this one, even
Yeah.
being about a chemical weapon, has that kind of vibe, and the American military stepping in to just like clean
Mhm.
things up.
Yeah, because
But
they still had that weird treaty where like America technically is like their joint military force, and it is. I do think it's kind of interesting in this one that the American offer, like, it's almost, I think, more about how the Japanese are like turning it down outright when the American offer is pretty chill, but like obviously technologically way advanced, and they also fuck it up. So whatever. But it is interesting to me because it's like, yeah, normally I would assume that in an anime that the American guy was like nuke this fucking place.
Yeah.
But instead,
Well,
I guess
that's what I
they're
thought they were
evil
gonna
because
do.
they want him alive because they want to preserve the weapon, I guess. So
But also, I thought that they were gonna nuke Tokyo at one
oh,
point.
for sure, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it escalates to that, right? Like it starts.
I think that's the implication is there again, like you say.
Yeah.
You don't need to say it that's what they're trying to avoid doing.
that's what the Americans are smirking about.
Mhm.
They're like, we have another nuke ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like these
We've done it before.
fucking idiots. But yeah, I also think it is interesting where they do the thing of like, oh, the emperor was willing to stay and die. How honorable.
Yeah, at the very end, they praise the
Yeah.
emperor, being like, "Oh, he didn't get on his jet." Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
yeah. And yet, always the emperor is always like a disaffected dork because
Yeah.
they had that shameful emperor for half a century, you know.
But Steve, you sort of started to start the story.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
want to continue?
Yeah, I mean, he gets instructed by his coworker. I mean, again, this is sort of like a RoboCop style corporate satire as well as it is a militaristic satire, where anybody tells him to do anything and he immediately will do it without question. And he goes into his boss's office and finds a interesting looking bottle that he thinks is flu medication, even though he looks at the pill, he examines it, and it has like sparkling sediment inside of it and stuff. And it's like, okay, this is like a magical pill. He takes it and then he passes out on one of the couches at work. And everybody in the place of business is like, what's that smell? But then I guess the chief of the research facility starts freaking out because he cannot find the medication that was in his office. And it's like, I don't know, what's his name? Nando? Not Nando.
Nobu.
Nobu has taken the pill bottle, and he's freaking out, and he's not even close from 0 to 100. It's just like 100 to 120. You know, like he's jumping on people through midair and like landing on their chest. We're like, where the hell is he? And then he runs off, and it seems as though he is trying to either start the alarm or he's about to hit the alarm, or he disables the alarm for some reason. I'm not exactly certain why.
I was going to ask you guys about this actually.
I think it was that he's disabling the alarm because he doesn't want his higher ups to know that he fucked up, because he definitely fucked up, right? But before any of this can go down, the smell gets everybody and they all pass out.
But the confusing part about that is his finger was like right over the button, and then Nobu just hits it. And
I assume that he disabled the alarm, like the bio alarm, so that he could try and track it down first. And then when he realized what was going on, he re-enabled it and he was about to hit it.
Yeah, like it seems like he's
died.
about to hit it in his weird death position.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess we could qualify that as a theory because like it's not really clear, but
I mean, the other theory is, I think the way the dialogue works, he did take the right pill, just the boss lied to everybody. But there is also 2 bottles of pills, so there's a chance that he just
he said go take
the
the red pill from the blue bottle, which
Yeah.
he did.
Which he does the right thing, but it is funny that they show a red bottle beside the blue bottle. to be like, oh, did somebody fuck it up?
It may have been just that the guy who told him to take the pill fucked up the colors, like the blue pill in the red bottle kind of thing. Right?
Maybe
Like,
if you go back and look, it's like you can see it's purple inside the red,
red
bottle.
It may be that the instructions he was given were wrong.
Yeah, like the guys aren't really paying attention. Yeah,
exactly. Because this guy seems like a dude who doesn't fuck up instructions, and he's really good at getting his instructions achieved. You know, he will follow it to a T and complete his task. Because every task he's given, he does complete. He wakes up, everybody's dead. He thinks they're sleeping, but I think we've already talked about this multiple times at this point. They are definitely all dead. They're very pale, pallid, and their eyes are open. They're drooling. They're dead. And he calls 911, ambulance, police, and then he goes into his boss's office, finds him dead in a heap of boxes, about to hit the alarm. He touches it, the alarm goes off. All the monitors come on, and there's like a million people being like, I have top priority call, what's going on? And they're all freaking out until Harrison Ford shows up, and he's like, what the hell happened in there? This character kind of looks like Harrison Ford to me a little bit, like modern day Harrison Ford, not classic 1995 Harrison Ford. But he basically is like, tell me what happened. He gives him a rundown of what happened, and it's clear that this guy is like freaking out to a point that he needs to cover this up, and he sends him, he says, grab the pills, grab the documents, grab everything, and bring it to Tokyo. You have to give it to me and nobody else. Nobody else can have this briefcase but me. And those are his instructions, and that's basically where the story like pushes forward from there. He leaves, right? And then he gets on his bike after that. He stuffs everything into a briefcase, and then he's like, it cuts to him on his bike, I think, and he's just like, and then all the birds start to fall out of the sky and like land in his lap, and he crashes his bike. He falls down the hill, and he realizes that this is where I was like, what? All the birds are dead. He sees the ambulance in the distance crashed, but then he also says cherry blossoms and sunflowers at the same time.
They don't touch on this much, but it's mentioned a few times that for whatever reason, everything is blooming. Whether it's it's winter and just sunflowers,
but also it's like everything out of season. Like all the different seasons are blooming. Yeah.
So this is my theory on this, if you'll allow me.
Sure.
Cherry blossoms bud, bloom, and then fall, and that's their death. Is when the blossoms are falling. That's their death, and that's what's happening. Like the blossoms are falling. Sunflowers. They're reaching at the end of their life cycle kind of thing. So it's like they're expiring, like sunflowers open and then they die. Like this is basically like everything that's in bloom is blooming because they're dying. Like that's the last sort of like edifice of their existence or their cycle or whatever before they die and come back the next year.
So for humans and animals, it speeds you up and just kills you.
Because we don't have a rejuvenation cycle, but plants do.
Yeah, that's interesting. Hit that theory theme for that one. That's a good one.
All right, I'll do it.
Theories. Does this mean that all the like guys nutted when they died?
Yep. You come when you die?
Theory, because of the flowers. The flower flowering is kind of like a plant nutting, Jason.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess when a apple falls off a tree, that's like it's jizzing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what they say. Well, like if an apple tree jizzes in the woods, if no one's around to hear it, does it make a noise? The answer is yeah. The tree goes,
and you can't hear it because you're not there.
No, it just does it really slow and deep, so you can't hear it. Our human ears can't hear it. Yeah.
Those ants in Lord of the Rings are just all fucking the whole time.
Puradur, little orcs come to me while I'm trying to finish my life cycle. I just came, little orcs.
Okay, that's my ant impression. I think it's pretty good.
Probably up to. Oh, you guys don't do a Lord of the. That's another channel for you. Lord of the.
Yeah,
I can
flings.
Lord of the theorist of the rings, I guess.
Yeah. You shall not post a theory.
You shall not have theories.
Yeah. What if Gandalf was a dog? Yeah.
My dog
Second
Norton
theorist.
used
Like
to
second.
when he would bark, he sounded like Gandalf. Like his bark was like
No.
yeah, it was very weird, but funny. So now he's on a mad sprint to get to his boss, and we also this is where we get the military aspect of it, and then the story kind of splits. And I mean, we don't really get much more development from his character after this. It's just him like beelining for his destination, and the rest of the story is sort of told through everyone else reacting to what's happening around him.
He is 100% dedicated to getting this. When they tells him bring this stuff to this place in Tokyo, the whole time he never really realizes the implications of the situation.
No, he doesn't.
And he's just trying to get the information and the pills to where the guy on the screen told him to get them to.
This is why I think that this guy is like, he's an idiot, because like he doesn't even put together the fact that he took the pill that they want. Everyone's dying around him, and wherever he goes, people are dying. People are running away from him in terror, and he's like, "Wait, guys, come back!"
I do think that by the time the third person died in front of me, I probably would think that I was.
But he's also running in terror at something behind him at times too. He's like, what are we running from?
It's funny that they do the like, oh, it's worse when he's nervous. They never even try to calm him down. Instead, it's immediately like
they shoot every rocket.
Let's just shoot him. Yeah. So we meet the war room, which is, I guess, like every sort of military mind and scientific mind in all of Japan gathered in one area, as well as, like you were saying, the paramilitary connection to the United States, where like we go through everything and then it slowly pans over to Randy Jackson from straight out of the A-Team, just like, and the Americans are there as well. And I think, like we were saying before, it's like they're there just to have the final bombardment if they need to. But
I just want to stop you there for a second, because it's funny to me that you said Randy Jackson when you meant to say Rampage. But Randy Jackson is from American Idol.
I know. I'm aware. Sorry.
We should shoot that guy, dog.
Yeah. What is Rampage Jackson's first name?
Probably John.
Rampage.
Rampage.
His name's Rampage.
Also, Rampage Jackson's terrible. There are all these videos of him from the mid 2000s of him doing interviews.
Quentin. Boring.
It's Quentin Rampage Jackson. Oh yeah. Where he
the first picture that came up of him for me is him wearing thick rimmed glasses, which is exactly what the guy in the movie. It does look like him. I mean, he's just
Rampage Jackson would have been like a teenager in 1995, probably.
He wasn't even rampaging yet.
Yeah,
no, he was just Quentin.
He was just Quentin back then.
Yeah.
I don't. What do they even really talk about at this point? It's just sort of like game plan stuff, right?
Yeah. Like, what are we gonna do? It's cohorts go to the mission room. Basically.
They have to evacuate. They have to. Yeah, it's sort of like standard emergency stuff, but it's full of like gags and like characters being goofy, but nothing that like sort of impacts the story too much. But it's a lot of like goofs where people are like, and we're all asking ourselves, what is that smell? Like the reporter. Like, I do think that there is like sorry, man, I got a lot of stink bomb action going on in my apartment right now, and the cops are here. They're coming for me.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else take over.
We see people up ahead on the road. They're all smelling the smell, and we find out that it goes through gas masks. Flowers are blooming all over. We see Nobu on the building with a flag. He's climbed up to the top of a building because there's helicopters.
Mm-hmm.
The helicopter can't go down too low, or else it hits the stink. I would have really liked to see a helicopter just like get too low and then
it is too bad. I really thought that was going to happen, that the helicopter was just going to crash, but they do land it safely before they all die.
Yeah, it is a news guy. He gets off and he runs up, and he goes down.
I do like the news broadcaster, how like the cameraman and him are still filming, and then like the news guy goes down first, takes his mask off, and then the cameraman is like trying his hardest to like keep filming, but he goes down too. And then we get this.
Is this when Nobu grabs the camera too? And
he's like, "Help somebody help me!" Yeah.
I also thought that the gas when they died, it's almost like the Joker gas, the face that they make. I know it's like it's just meant to be a hilarious like death face, but at first I was like, is this Joker gassing people too? But it's just,
I don't think so. They're not laughing.
Nobody's
laughing.
Yeah.
This is just regular gas.
But they realize Nobu is the bioweapon, and the evacuation is complete from that small area. And they're going to withdraw to move back. Now there's a full-on green haze that's accompanying him. And
I do like a lot. I really like the gas effects in this as well. Like the moving smoke is really cool.
It turns black by the end too.
Yeah,
it's like a black smoke after he comes out of that
Creepy,
cave when they blow all the ice at it. But they're like, they see him. He thinks he's going to get rescued, but they all go down, and the military guys withdraw. And Nobu, this is where Nobu's like, "What's after me?" So he's running towards them, and this causes more pandemonium. And he thinks the gas is after him.
That's because he's dumb. He's dumb.
Because he's dumb.
He's a dummy.
So now we get another ripple of like, sort of like character development where we find Nobu's family. I guess his like brother and grandparents. They're watching him sort of on the news, and the command center people realize further that it's this one singular guy causing all of this. And like you guys,
I mean, it's because you took the wrong medication. We're talking
about
the flu and the chemical weapon mix.
And then Don Vito, for some reason, is the great troll, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know why my nipples smell like almonds today either, if I'm being honest.
Neither does Nobu.
Right. So this is where this never comes back, but the more that he's stressed, the worse that the smell gets. But like you said, they keep stressing him harder and harder and harder. But
I mean, they're sending the military after him. Everything that's happening to him is more and more stressful. So I believe that's why the tornado of green mist around him is getting larger and larger, right? Is the fact that they refuse to. They should just send out a media. I was sure that the news media would calm him down, but not at all. They're just like come up to him screaming, being like, "Almondy's nuts." That's what the news media said, and it really.
Thanks, World Mind. That was well timed.
Some of your fans are good.
Yeah, we get we get the moment of realization where all of the generals and scientists understand what's happening, and they're like, "Oh no, he's the cause," right? Like this is them sort of understanding that he's the reason that this is going on. As he's like isn't he like eating a chocolate bar or something?
I think he's eating an what is it, onigiri?
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's just like walking through this stink cloud, eating a snack, and he's still walking to his destination. I guess he doesn't know how to drive, or like you'd think that he would find at least one vehicle that could work, because everybody is passing out in their cars, but no, he's just hoofing it. Do we have an understanding of how long it took him to get there? I guess he gets to the bridge and then he gets the super suit.
Yeah, I mean he gets a little scooter, yeah, and eventually explosions blow him more of the way. I think they're not far out of it. It's hard to tell, how far things are away. Because obviously he's got the weird farmland with his grandparents between there and here, and I don't know.
Oh yeah, and then he gets his little scooter with the fun box on it.
Always fun to have an anime scooter.
A bicycle and then a scooter. So anime.
Yeah.
So he reaches a bridge, and the bridge has a military blockade, basically. Like it seems like they're sort of ushering the traffic and evacuation outward, and then the generals, or not the generals, but like the soldiers slowly start to piece together, like, holy shit, that's the guy. That's the guy. That's the stinky guy. And they decide to run, but they can't outrun his stink. You could say I have no memories of this film. Yep. It's true. We're talking about a story of a man who takes a pill that makes him so stinky that it kills everybody that he goes near. That's basically the tale. And he is chasing after them, and more of them are dying. And yeah, it's basically, it's just kind of that. Like, I don't really know what else to say about this story. You know? Like,
Yeah.
I guess we can just kind of skip forward to, you know, his grandparents see him on TV being chased by the military, and they decide to link up with the military to see if they can intervene in some way. And another fun anime moment where grandma is yelling at him from the from the helicopter, being like, "You need to give up. I don't know why, but apparently it's very dangerous." Like, they haven't
Apparently you stink so bad.
Yeah. They haven't given her the full scope of the situation either, but she just knows.
Yes.
She's meant
Yeah,
to
they're using her as bait to slow him down, essentially.
Yeah. But then they try and snipe him in the head. They miss, and then she immediately turns on the helicopter pilot, being like, "What are you trying to kill my grandson, you fucking assholes?" And she starts trying to beat people with a bullhorn. That's fun. And he still doesn't realize what's going on, even after all of this. So they decide to bring out, like, what would you describe these suits as? Like Samus Aran suits?
Yeah, I mean, space suit. They say it's like the next generation of space suits.
But it's a weird thing where, like, nothing can get in or out, but then also when the helmet turns from clear to like shiny, it's like a digital.
Well, part of it is because he's giving off electromagnetic radiation at that point, right? Because all the mechanical stuff is fucking up. So they have the suits because it can withstand that,
which is crazy.
Spacewalks.
Yeah, so they basically, like, at a tunnel, they create a wall of fans that blow all the smoke backward, but it's slowly not working.
But I thought that they were also it's frozen air. They're trying to freeze him.
Yeah, because they're trying to kill him, and the U.S. military at this point is not.
But like I'm talking about the big fans at the end of the tunnel, just blowing the air back in. But then I think is it the spacemen are trying to capture him, right, to use as a weapon.
Yeah.
Spacemen look cool. I was hoping in the first movie, the first film, their helmet design, their spacesuit design, I loved so much, and I was like, oh, I hope they like have a button that turns them shiny. That would look so cool. I want to see without the face in there. I want to see what it looks like. And
I had a moment where I looked over at the poster, and I was like, that's these suits? That's kind of disappointing. That means that there's going to be no like Emperor Spaceman story in this, because that's just them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what are the other things on the poster? There's like a little. Are they representative of the other things in this movie?
There's little guys from the little son from the last movie is there.
Okay.
One of them looks like Buddy the Elf.
I think that's supposed to be either one of the cherubs.
That's the little guy. No, the guy in the middle saluting is the kid from the third movie.
What's the one on the next to it? Is that a stink bomb?
Yeah, no, you're right. I was actually looking earlier, and I don't think that there's any stink bomb representation.
Except for this big spaceman.
I guess spacesuit, because the spacesuit isn't what they're wearing in Magnetic Rose.
No, this is these dudes. The Stink Patrol. We're here on Stink Patrol. Yeah, they send the American troops in, and it's a cool ET style moment where like he thinks he's being rescued. He sees light at the end of the tunnel, and he's like, I'm almost there. And then he runs, and he sees these silhouettes of these big bulky Halo, like elite style Halo monsters, like Master Chief and his pals are showing up. And they It's a cool animated moment, but I don't really know what they're doing. It's like they're trying to incapacitate him. And
Yeah, I think that they're trying to incapacitate him, but like they said, when he's stressed, it gets worse. So I assume he just explodes to the point where it kills the people, even in the suits.
yeah, and he like Dragon Ball Z screams like, "Ah!" And, like the stink just comes out of every pore.
I see it now. So the chair is like an ornate chair, and it's a rose behind, as you can see in Steve's, and then in front it's like the city with all the cannons, and then you can see the dad through a window, and then it's the little yeah. It's misleading. I'm gonna sue. I'm gonna take a pill that makes me stinky and go talk to Otomo.
You don't need a pill for that, brother. Just kidding. You don't stink. I don't think I've ever run into you and been like, Jason stinks right now.
He might smell drunk, but he doesn't smell like a fart cloud.
Ding, 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 ding.
But yeah, that's that. Like, so we glossed over him being attacked by the military.
I mean,
but
he gets blown up at one point and flies him forward a little bit further on his journey, but like that's not.
I know that I just wanted to just point out what actually happens to him, which is crazy. It's almost like an Austin Powers gag where they show like ships, like Navy ships shooting missiles at him, tanks shooting missiles at him, fighter jets come in and shoot missiles at him. There's a funny part where like the tanks are going across this bridge and they get like zapped, and one crashes into the other, like rear ends the other one, and then shoots the one in front of it, and then they all start shooting at each other, and it's pure comedy, and it's so well animated.
Yeah, there's a good bit with Tensai Okamura where he's like, don't look so hard at all those things firing, because he's like, I think sometimes we got weapons firing from nothing, because he's like, he said it was very funny because he'd like submit storyboards to Otomo, and he'd like look them over, and he'd return them with like 100 more things drawn on them, and he's like, damn it. And he even like in the making of, he shows a few scenes like the waiting area of the hospital, and he's like, I had like 3 guys in there, and he's like, man, what if you put 18 guys? And he's like, oh, goddamn. It's like, what if it was 100 tanks? And he's like,
that's too many.
But he specifically called out that he's like, I think some of those weapons might be firing from nothing because we just ran out of time.
That's funny. I also think it's funny how much devastation they're causing across the country trying to stop this
Sure.
guy.
Yeah.
When all they really had to do was say stay put. And they
or just not cover it up. Just admit to it.
Yeah. And they blow up all the mountains, all the bridges, all the houses. Everything gets completely devastated. But this man survives. He's so determined to complete his task.
Yeah.
They like evacuate everybody from the place. They all die from the cloud anyway, and then they nuke. They just bomb basically the space that he was traveling through also. So it's just a lot of irony, a lot of good like comedy, and a lot of good gaffes.
Yeah, I feel like the interesting thing is like, again, going back to the like them talking about it, for the most part, Otomo sees this one like specifically as like an energy bridge. Like he's like, I just want it to be a groove, and he's like, the music was really important for this one. So yeah, it's just that it's like jazzy and zippy and fun, and yeah, but at the same time, I would say that it is also the most like one-to-one political statement about like the current time. Because the next one is kind of a fairy tale. So yeah.
Send in America to deal with it.
Guys, we have important Mel Gibson news in the chat.
I see
This week in Mel Gibson news.
Yeah.
Mel
New
Gibson
woman declared sugar tits.
Oh my god.
Declared almond tits.
How many times did you say the N-word? This is interesting because how can you make a sequel to The Passion of the Christ?
It's called The Resurrection. It's called The Resurrection.
I know, and what's it going to be?
I mean, he's never made one yet.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
What do you think the resurrection's going to be, Jason?
Well, to be fair, there's not stories. He's going to
come out. He's going to come out of that little
out like a lion.
Maybe it'll be the like in real time. the 3 days. The movie
What
will
if
be
Mel
3 days
Gibson
long.
starts a new religion?
Oh God, Gibsonism.
Yeah.
I'm a real
Gibson's
Gibbite. I'm a real
in
Gibbite.
Britain. This is going to be much more powerful than the first time. I honestly can't tell if this is the weirdest troll.
Oh boy, I got good news, guys. It's not just called Resurrection of the Christ. Resurrection of the Christ, Part 1, baby.
Oh no! It's
Oh
gonna be
man,
long. I'm
nice.
telling you, it's gonna be 3 days long in total.
3 actual days.
It's gonna be
long.
everybody being like, "I can't believe Jesus is dead" for 3 days, and then the last shot is gonna be Jesus like, "Hey,
What you say? What you say?
Yeah.
I will say that, like, the interesting thing to me is Nutbar Mel Gibson did not ask back Nutbar Jim Caviezel.
Oh,
So
Well, Jim Caviezel.
maybe he's not as much of a nut bar as we thought.
exactly, he might have a limit.
Yeah, he's like, I'm crazy, but not that crazy.
Not Ice movie Jim Caviezel.
Yeah, he's going with a Finnish guy.
Mel Gibson's like, I'm about as crazy as my character from Signs. That's more of my reality. Not what's that one where everything's blue and he's shooting everybody constantly? I don't know.
He's
He's
crazy as the character he plays in Conspiracy Theory.
Oh, fun one. But that guy was crazy and right.
Oh yeah. That's
What
right.
if he was right?
I mean,
what if you had a Fuji song?
Killing Me Softly?
No, what's the one? You're Just Too Good to Be True, the Fugees cover.
Oh.
You know what? I had a friend that didn't know that, and I'm like, why do you think at the start Wyclef goes, conspiracy theory? My friend was like, oh, I just thought that was like a thing rap guys say.
I thought he was saying that it was a conspiracy
Like,
theory.
no,
He's
he's
talk about.
shouting out the film that this is playing over the credits for.
We really need to bring back rap songs that are about the movie.
Yeah.
That
Now and
just
again,
reference it very quickly.
I don't know where you would collect them all, but now and again, Demi Adejuibe does a funny fake one for a movie that's coming out. Like he probably did like a Disclosure Day rap.
Right.
Disclosure
Day.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Disclosed.
Just rap guys say.
Yeah. What time to disclose? Well, I'm an alien, and I'm here to say
it's the disclosing-ish day of
Yeah.
all days in the USA.
I love to
Yeah, it's
disclose
way
in a
too
major
long.
way.
About 20 minutes too long. Emily Blunt, confusing performance. Anyway, the best part of this movie is the ending where the spaceman comes back. The weird thing is they show that like visual of the army, the spacemen collecting somebody in like a container. And then one spaceman appears and it's him inside the suit and the mist is inside the suit. And you're kind of like, oh, perfect. They got him. They can just contain him from here. And then he goes to like take it off. He's like, I brought the stuff you asked for. And they're trying to
Let me just get out of this thing. And he hits the giant eject button.
I felt a feeling I've never felt before. An anger, a weird comedy anger. Because they didn't try to like predict, like I didn't have that headspace, and I normally don't when I'm watching movies specifically. And then I said, of course, but I also felt this like I was so mad, but in like a fun way.
Yeah.
As soon as the silver was still up and the door open, I'm like, he's in the suit. It's gonna be it.
Yeah, I think I'd forgotten. But yeah, I guess they do the thing of drawing it out long enough where you're like, I know it's gonna happen.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, they also really linger on that briefcase. I'm like, he never let that briefcase out of his sight the entire time. It's him. It's definitely him. And Harrison Ford's like, oh shit, and then he gets gassed. Everybody gets gassed. Yeah, I mean,
that one.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I like this. I like it, but I feel like there's not a ton to talk about in terms of like the meat and potatoes of the story itself, because it is like guy runs to destination, gets to destination, other people are trying to kill him the whole time.
So
It's
the way
fun,
that
but it is fun.
the way that the first one would be turned into a great feature, this one would be interesting as like a short series where every episode is about him encountering a
Skinking
different
somewhere.
I don't know if you could
element.
maintain comedy this broad for
like a six episode anime miniseries that it's like
starring Will
you learn
Forte.
more-
I just
you
want to
learn
get to
more about
I've been told that I need to take this briefcase.
But you
to the
learn more
capital.
about his family. You learn more about like that receptionist at the beginning who he's like kind of smitten with. You learn more about the facility. Like you just expand things a bit and make 6 half-hour episodes out of this.
They definitely also don't maximize the tension of his grandparents and like maybe his brother. Like it's hard to know what there is like a younger person related to him.
But then you also turn up the comedy, like it's so absurd for 6 half-hour episodes that it's just jokes per minute happening. Like it's just funny, just goofy and funny the whole time, which I think they nailed. I think that's my favorite part of this. This is definitely second place for me, and it's also a 5 out of 5.
It's just like one episode is just like a half an hour segment of that moment from Anchorman where Brian Fantana puts on Death Panther or whatever the fuck it's called. that disgusting aftershave. It smells like Bigfoot's dick. I mean, I like this one quite a bit. I think that rating wise, I mean, it's a cloud of green gas that smells all right. Smells all right.
Yeah, okay. That your rating is one smell out of all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I really like the end. Even though I knew it was going to be him, I'm like, oh yeah, it's definitely going to be him. I liked that it was gas filled. I thought it was just going to be sort of a green tint, but I liked that it was just like a flowing gas. As much as I'm like, he's so stupid, I kind of like that he maintained his stupidity right until the last moment where everybody's like, ah! And the gas just covers the room.
Yeah, he's a pure soul.
Yeah, he's too good for his own good. I mean, I guess I'll give it to this. It'll be rating second because I mean the third one I like it as well, but as I told you guys in the pre-show, I had some issues with it, some problems. Staying awake problems.
How about you, Cam?
Yeah, I would say, you know what? I think the problem is holding it up to the other one. It falters a bit, but I would say on its own, it's like a four forker. I don't know. I give it pretty full marks.
It can go fork itself.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some parts about it that we didn't talk about too much, but like I really like the music in it. I think it's like so fun and it's got that sort of groovy horn stuff going on that is just like so appropriate for a goofy idiot trying to avoid the military.
Well, it's got like its own like song.
Well, we call it stink jazz. That's what we call it in the biz, stink jazz. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess we move on to the next.
We are entering the final short. The first one was about 45. That one was about 30, and this one is about 30 as well. This one is called Cannon Fodder. I want you to notice. Do you notice something pretty glaring about this picture?
They're using, as a recent crazy Canadian said, the Hitler font.
The Hitler font.
So I'll do the synopsis of this one. It's very simple. It's kind of through the eyes of a small kid who lives in a city that is, we find out later, I guess it's a floating city, that is at constant war with something. And every day the kid gets up and goes to military class. The dad gets up to go to kind of like a riveter, like a building a building style job in reality. But what he does is he goes and helps the bullet be put into the rifle and then helps the powder go behind the rifle. And then the shitty general comes and shoots it. And the mom goes to do like,
she like builds the bullets.
Bullets. She's
Bullet
the
factory.
The riveter. What's her name? Nancy the Riveter.
Rosie.
Rosie the Riveter. And we get
You're thinking
this.
of Nancy the nail gun operator.
Yeah, I was. But we get this really interesting short story that Cam, you mentioned, is like a fairy tale. It feels very fairy tale. It feels very dreamlike. It reminds me of the Kid short in Animatrix, because I think it literally is the same like team put it together, and it basically ends up being very ambiguous. Has a very ambiguous ending where it seems like the town may have been on the offense the whole time, and at the very end they finally get attacked back. It's laden with propaganda allusions. It feels very much like you're watching an old, like when on The Simpsons, where they're like, we have Soviet TV, the Itchy and Scratchy from Russia.
Yeah,
And it feels like those old Russian cartoons that you see. And it's very much like, it's almost like it deals with propaganda inside of it, but it also feels like a propaganda film itself, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah.
So,
the only thing that kind of bucks that is that the kid is sort of hates,
true. He wants the music helmet.
Yeah, the music helmet, which I wish we got a better idea of what that meant.
I think it's just a helmet that has headphones on it.
Okay.
Like,
Part of me is like, is there like a whistle that when you walk it goes like wee?
Does that appease the Lord Zardos?
Zardos, are you there? Zardos!
He went to bed.
Zardos approves.
Thanks, Zardos. This one, cool. Basically, the kid wakes up, and the animation style has that sort of squiggliness to it.
I think that the winner in this for me is the art direction in general, and just sort of like the influence. It's kind of got that like World War I vibe where everything is like wrought iron but like has like a filigree to it, like where it looks like everything has craft, and it obviously it kind of like reminds me of Final Fantasy in a way, like the Final Fantasy VI era kind of stuff, where there's like an industrial vibe to it, but it's just kind of breaking free from the medieval era, entering the steam era. Only they became obsessed with cannons, which is cool. I like it, but I also hate it. It's also disturbing. Like a lot of it is. It reminded me a little bit more, Jason, of the Renaissance one, because of in terms of storytelling. I'm not necessarily a visual style, but all the backgrounds, all the foregrounds, everything feels like a painted picture, and then it's sort of like these characters existing within it. Even the 3D hallways and stuff, like it's not as jarring as you would think. Like it seems like they 3D modeled an area and placed these hand painted images on top of it and figured out a way to move through it without it being overbearing or uncanny feeling, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like I don't totally get it, but he talked about how it's not quite one unbroken shot, which it's often listed as, and it's funny that he's already turning that down in the press materials leading up to the movie that are like, please buy a ticket. Right. He's like, it's not one shot, but he says it's like reading a scroll, which I kind of like. Very Japanese vibe.
It's interesting you brought up Final Fantasy, because it specifically reminds me of characters from Final Fantasy IX, specifically
the art style,
Brain from 9, Dagger's mom. And then also, I could see this being the premise and the plot for a JRPG style tactics game. In this universe where you know what I mean? Like
what's that game called where you're in your tanks? World of Tanks.
Tactics. Advance Wars.
I think that might be it.
Like the Nintendo.
Oh
one?
yes, that is definitely
where it's like you have your big tank city and you move and like go fight another tank city.
But then also a little bit like you remember those games that are like Worms, where you have to like line up your shot.
I believe it's called Worms.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said Worms.
The games
It's
that are
you
like
said-
Worms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worms,
There's also one.
Worms 3D.
There's also one for the Commodore back in like the 80s that you were two
Yeah.
monkeys and you threw.
That one was
Yeah,
called
yeah.
Worms. Yeah.
Worms.
Yeah.
I also think, interestingly, that it's not like I don't think. Well, number one, I was interested to be like, why his one is so. The guy whose style is otherwise known as basically Magnetic Flower or Stink Bomb. Why does his one look so crazy? And he said that he was essentially sick of his own art style, so he got this other guy, Hirosugu Kawasaki, to design all the characters. But I also find it. I don't know if you guys have seen a lot of the animation of Sylvain Chomet, the French guy that did like the Triplets of Belleville. I feel like it looks
Right.
very Euro, and I think that they're trying to design European faces, obviously from, like you say, the SS stuff and the World War I Germany stuff. But it is interesting. I find it, especially with a lot of the 2000s European animation, it feels akin to that, which is kind of weird because there's always been European animation. It's always been its own stream, but I can't really find something in my memory banks, at least, that suits this style before that. But I also would say that, again, the weird thing of Heavy Metal Magazine is like, this also feels like a style that would be in Heavy Metal Magazine, both in story and in weird other art style.
I do like, because when you're looking at the stuff that's kind of shot from far away or framed from far away, it does have a closer vibe to something like the Metallic or the Magnetic Rose. When they're like loading the guns and stuff, where it's all very technical, but then when it's the intimate shots of the characters, it's those deep shadows, and they'll even like shade things in with cross hatching around the neck and the face, and it's animated and like they're talking and they still have that there, and it's like that's such an opposition to the sort of the clean animation that we've got in the last two videos. It's really dirty and messy and kind of ugly, but at the same time interesting, right? Like,
yeah.
It's cool, and I think it works. Like for what
yeah. And I think for how simple it is, it also does have some interesting messages. Because I think like one thing, so much anime fetishizes Europe, and this is kind of a like worst of Europe stuff.
Yeah,
all the bad parts of Europe and European imperialism put together and European propaganda. But then also it has the weird thing of there's like a little moment that I think does a good sort of both sides are bad thing of you see essentially like left-wing protesters outside the factory as the dad's coming home, but what they're protesting is the toxicity of the gunpowder. they're like giving up pamphlets like, hey, we should all like tell your boss get better gunpowder, and it's like, oh, okay, so that's also showing that like they are like the problem is the war, not the
smog
like,
it's creating.
It's all bad, but like everyone is losing sight of the fact that this war may not even be real.
Yeah, I like because like as I told you guys earlier, like I'm like, do we ever see who they're fighting? And it's like, no, not really. And it's like, this whole culture has been based around building and building towards the shot, the daily shot or whatever of the cannon. It's like their whole routine, and everybody lives and breathes the red cannon. It's pretty powerful, I guess, but like at the same time, it's grimy and depressing, which is, I mean, akin to the art style and everything, right? Like everything is in this is depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we just go through it quickly, basically the kid wakes up, he's already doing militaristic moves. He's like 10 hut, marches down the hallway. We see the giant painting.
And he's doing that without anyone watching, which is kind of interesting, right? Like he wakes up and he's doing a military march to breakfast, and he stops the march before he turns the corner to go to his family to eat. It's almost like it almost feels like they've seen him do that before and they've told him not to or whatever, but he seems to have it in his bones that he lives for the cannon. The cannon is everything.
He stops at the painting of the general or whatever, and it seems like every home probably has this painting, and the general looks so slim and noble and and great, but when we actually see him later, he's like this stout, fat, like
And his eyes are like
piece of
rimmed red, like his eyes have been stung like by the smoke of the cannon is affecting this guy too, right? Like he's got these red rings around his eyes, like everything is just puffy and swollen from being exposed to firing the cannon every day.
It had a bit of a vibe of Howl's Moving Castle to me.
Sure.
It kind of felt like that castle in that is sort of a machine, and the city in this is like a machine. The mom kind of dresses the boy down for being late to training again. He needs to get a scholarship because the dad isn't making enough, which also means the mom is probably making nothing because
She probably makes 2 cents an hour or something off of her riveting.
And they also live in this tiny like apartment, so this kid needs to get a scholarship so he can support the family. The boy and dad leave to go to the train, and this is where we see that there's cannons on like pretty much every building, and we also see the like this reminded me of the Renaissance where all the men are getting ready to go to their factory or the cannon, and it felt very much they're getting ready to go to war every day, which is wild. I wasn't sure where this was going, and I thought it was going to be like these guys are just, it's called cannon fodder. So I thought these guys were going to like die in an endless war, but it's so much simpler and so much like darker almost that they go and they spend their whole day shooting the cannon twice, and that's their whole day.
But I mean, you just say I figured that they were going to spend them going and fighting an endless war to be kind of cannon fodder. That's what they are. They literally are that. They are fighting an endless war, but their part in the war is arming the cannon to shoot endlessly, right?
So we see the kids in the
and they force everybody to. I like that they force everybody to cheer. Like everyone has to. Like,
I like the lady where she's like, "Hey, oh yeah,
what are you doing? You gotta cheer."
Like it seems like maybe she's protesting, but she truly just like has forgotten to cheer.
And the kids only learn trigonometry. That's the only thing they're learning.
Oh yeah, it's also I do like I identify with that kid. Jesus Christ, I'd fire the cannon, but I don't want to learn all this shit.
Yeah.
You need to know trigonometry to be able to fire a cannon properly, guys.
I know.
And
if a cannon is fired at 2 p.m. from the western coast and another cannon fires from the eastern coast at 6 p.m., when do the cannon shots meet?
Never,
because
that's not trigonometry.
I know. I'm aware. I'm just.
That's physics.
It seems like this would be a math question in this world.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
If the great cannon fires twice a day, but I have to go to the room. I'll be right back.
The kid looks out and thinks of the red cannon, sets up a shot. Roll call happens as they load the cannon. There's a giant bullet that goes in, then the giant powder charge. They close it up, they align it. It's all steam. It's a steampunk adjacent, or like it's not steampunk, but it's like the technology is steam.
Yeah.
Is that still steampunk?
Yeah, I think this is pretty steampunk. No, I mean it's all
airships, but there probably is airships in this universe.
Nobody puts on a top hat with a fucking gear on it. It doesn't mean it's not steampunk.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's a lot of
goggles, but those the masks, the gas masks they put on are weird and steampunky.
Yeah, that's true. There's an interesting like lots of toxicity stuff.
Yeah, because they have to like set up the whole cannon and then evacuate the whole area, because I imagine the recoil and the smoke that comes off of it is all crazy bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were talking about there's the protesters for the toxicity of the gunpowder, and then the fact that they make the dad stand there as a punishment. Like, obviously, it's bad for you.
I think the implication is that like he could only have 2 or 3 more of these without a mask on, and he'll die. And this could have been the Randy the Ram, where this was his last time, where he's unmasked.
Randy the Rampage Jackson.
Yep. So here comes the general. I guess he's a general. I don't know what you would call this. A corporal.
Sure.
The guy who fires the cannon.
I think they give him a name. Yeah, I can't.
He's
remember.
probably like a very high-ranking officer. I'd assume he's like an admiral or something.
Admiral. Yeah.
Unless he's just like a cannoneer.
I mean,
I'm
does
the cannoneer.
he mention whether or not it's a trap? That's a good way to say it, an admiral.
I think he does say that just before he fires.
And this short does this thing where everything takes forever for things to happen, really like emphasize how boring this world is. And when the admiral walks up and he gets ready to hit the button, he like opens the thing and he stands there for so long. It was agonizing.
It's ceremonial. Everything is a performative act of militaristic clout and propaganda and bullshit. It's all there just to perform. It's performative for the people. If it didn't exist, then this world couldn't exist, right? They have to make a giant ceremony of everything, or else people would question why they're doing it. Which I'm sure they are. Yeah.
Yeah. So it finally fires, and everybody on the workforce line cheers. You guys talked about that a little bit, and now we just see a deluge of propaganda. It goes down into the town and kind of shows everybody. The dad's eating lunch. Everybody's bummed out. We see the kid eating lunch. There's the kid in the background getting pinched for having one of the musical helmets, which is that to me is like, I don't think it's dangerous to have a helmet with headphones on it. I think that they don't want anybody free thinking and listening to music.
It's like equilibrium.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to be inspired.
Yeah.
The only thing that's
what if they get their hands on the Joe Rogan podcast?
Or they're only allowed to listen to the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah,
that's true. Joe Rogan's like, what was our world before the giant red cannon in the sky?
Just think about it.
We were just a bunch of monkeys running around with our knuckles dragging on the ground.
You're telling me there's no proof of the enemy? Yeah, Charlie, Google that.
Yeah, Charlie, Google craters outside of the great city.
Bring that up. I like the women gossiping about the admiral. Kind of cut to them doing gossip moment, and that's when I was like, oh, are they like not getting paid?
I heard his dong's as big as his gas mask's dong.
Yeah, I heard he had 2 wives, and one of his wives was a man.
Oh my God, there's nothing wrong with that, Jason.
In this universe, there is.
That's true. Why do you think they're all secretly repressed homosexuals? Why do you think they made their giant cannon a big red dick?
A big red dick? Yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to editorialize.
I was just joking. I was just joking around.
Wow.
But we got somewhere good. The big red dick in the sky. That's what we needed.
Exactly. But we get a shot of them cleaning the barrel and getting ready to load another shell.
I will say comedic effectiveness, the big bristle thing to clean the barrel is funny. That is funny. How big it is. And like it requires several people to carry it. Yeah, that's funny.
And as the dad's coming down, he trips and his gas mask falls off, which is like the ultimate disrespect. So they don't let him go back and get it. He has to stand there. I was saying to Cam when you were away, I don't know if you had your headphones on, but like,
isn't that when he's loading? He's like helping load it and it like knocks him off and then it falls. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that part.
And
full disclosure to our audience, I may have fallen asleep during this movie. I'm struggling to remember what happened, but I think I'm doing an okay job. I think maybe I only fell asleep for like 5 minutes and I thought it was like 45. I'm like, oh no, I have no idea what's happening. Why is he sweating so much?
It honestly felt like he could only be exposed to this like a couple times in his whole life, and this was like he's sweating and like clearly visibly stressed, and as it goes off, he like closes his eyes and like puts his hands up to his ears. So I guess these gas masks also block out the incredible sound that this thing must make.
Yeah. Also, missing all these teeth. You think that's from the gas, the food, or is it because they clench their mouth so hard every time that comes off?
Or just European genetics.
European genetics, but also they probably have no health care.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. The red cannon does not provide health care. You have to
health care is getting loaded in the bullet, baby.
Yeah. But we hear about the attack on the news. He switches the channel to some show that the kid goes, "This again? We've seen this 100 times." And then the kid asks, "Who are we fighting against?" And the dad dismisses it and says, "I'll tell you when you're older."
Because
Which is
Bum,
Yeah.
bum, bum,
Doesn't know either.
bum.
And then we get a little change where, you know, he's drawn this picture of him as the admiral, and then the dad's looking at it, and it's the perspective switches to the drawing, and then it's this little animation of the kid as like a crudely drawn kid drawing, and then like a bunch of like the military guys and the cannon, and the cannon like withers, which is pretty, you know,
as all cannons
it's
do.
impotent. It's impotent.
After firing, it's hard for a cannon to keep its rigidity.
But the thing that's interesting about this is like after the cannon shrivels, it just turns into the kid like commanding this incredible army of ships of airplanes and stuff. Like it's becomes much more grand. It's not just a cannon firing. And I think it's like the kid thinks that we could take this military thing to a whole nother level if we weren't just firing a cannon into the darkness.
Yeah, the real villain's the kid, that warmonger.
He wants to be a warmonger.
He's a failed art student. We know that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like the end of this is like sort of it's showing like the damage that's being passed down generationally, right? Where it's like this kid has only known war and all he thinks about is war, and trigonometry. I assume he's trying to get better, but
well, he's been propagandized to want to be the admiral.
yeah,
That's
I
the
mean to the
ultimate-
point that all he's drawing is about himself as the next person to fire, the next cannoneer, I guess, admiral of the war. Do we think that they have planes in this world? I don't think so. It seems like they've put all of their technology into giant cannons.
Yeah. Yeah. Theory, there are no planes in Cannon Fodder world.
But yeah, he wants to he wants to be the one to fire the cannon. He goes to bed, and then the way that it ends is there's an air raid siren that it goes off.
Oh, I guess there must be planes.
Yeah. And we see some flashes from outside the window, but they're not flashes. They like sweep. I don't know. It was interesting. And then the Memories logo pops on the screen, and I was like, "That's it? There's still 6 minutes left on this." Usually, when there's 6 minutes left, I'm going, "How are they gonna, how are they gonna
How
fill
wrap this
time
up? I'll
But
tell
they
you
just-
how. Ooh, ding, ding, ding. Memories.
Well, I do I like that weird note it ends on, because it's like, what is that light outside the kid's window?
Yeah. And in a world like this, you could absolutely see the powers that be within this city, like manufacturing fake war stuff to freak people out. To
A false
Anytime-
flag operation, Steve?
yeah, exactly. Just
Oh,
shake
boy.
them to their core and make them want to create more
Yeah.
bullets and ammo. You know,
Yeah,
We
he
assume that
already warped the alien there.
Yeah.
You're
we
too
assume
late.
there's some guy living on another floating air yacht, being like, "We need more.
Yeah.
we need more."
I will
More."
remember. I'll say that in my memory, I thought that you saw the other city, and it was very similar. Like I thought that it was kind of like an irony of two
Right.
groups living exactly the same, and I was a little surprised on the rewatch.
Like a
that I'm
blue-
like,
a
oh,
blue
I guess I
cannon.
made that up in my head,
Yeah.
or it's some other anime I saw about a cannon city.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one's pretty powerful in terms of its like core ideas, but I think the art style is interesting as well. It's like it reminds me of like a storybook, or like like the comic book Mouse. You ever read Mouse?
MAUS.
It's also sort of, I mean, in that it literally takes place during World War II, but it's like a story between cats and mice, basically. The cats being Nazis and the mice being the Jews in that war. But the art style is also similarly very like scratchy and dirty, and it's more so about like the content rather than the beauty. Whereas this is sort of like there's like a very intense beauty to this when it comes to the backgrounds and everything, and then a very ugly beauty when it comes to like the drawings of the characters. Like Nobody in this is beautiful. Everybody, the kid looks like a dirty Animal Crossing character. The dad has like the red, like very classic European style, like you're saying, Cam, like the triplets of Belleville. Like it looks almost like ripped out of one of those types of animations.
Yeah,
This is actually Waluigi's origin story.
yeah, true.
I mean, that's why they
Literally all of the Wario verse.
Yeah.
This is the Wario verse. Yeah.
This is where all Warriors are born.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll finally get our dream of Peach.
Hey, it's me, fucking Peach.
Oh my god. I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah.
I mean, you're too turned
endless,
up by Peach.
I'm like a Peach. Oh wow, boom. She'll probably have a red cannon too. I bet.
Heyo.
Hey, wait, are you saying that Peach?
We'll have
Wa
a
Peach
giant
was
tic.
definitely-
Yes.
Trans icon? Yeah,
That's
okay.
exactly what I was
Trans
saying.
icon, Peach. Well,
Fan artists, get on it. Slide into my DMs with your Peach.
I can draw you one, Cam.
to be fair, there's so much Peach. I'm just scrolling through. I'm sure she has a penis in one of these.
Yeah.
There apparently was a leaked design, so there's even a canonical Peach look.
Oh my god. I'm very excited.
So I don't know if I can play it because it has, but Jordan Roscoe, formerly of who was trans, formerly from that group.
Oh yes, I have seen. Yes,
and it's like Peach, Rosalina, and then it's her being like, "I'm fucking," dressed like Peach. I'm fucking Peach. That's what I was quoting.
Oh, beautiful. I will also say I did look while we were talking, and Demi Adejuibe did indeed do a Disclosure Day rap, claiming that E.T. appears at the end of the film.
Basically, spoilers.
Oh. I hope he does. I've all been waiting for that ET sequel that takes place on his weird plant world, right? Where everyone's made of
The ET
plants.
sequel.
Yeah, with what's the, oh god, there's a character. Can't even remember. If you guys listen to podcasts, The Ride, they always talk about like the head gardener of ET World,
and he's like,
Globulus or whatever.
Yeah, and he looks like a plant. He's got like plant face. Pretty sure he's got flower hands. He's a real freak.
Is that canon? Is there lore?
It's
about-
canon. It's canon in the ET
Planet?
universe. Yeah. ET.
We're all obviously talking about Brodo Asgosi, the Green Planet.
They
It
made
looks
one
like-
fucking movie, and people are like,
There's like
we need
3
more
lakes in
ETs.
all of Brado Lembosi, or whatever you just said.
Mhm.
And the rest of the planet is like pure green moss. It's like moss hills as far as the eye can see.
I like the idea that on Bradawasi they all wear clothes.
Yeah, and he's just a freak.
Yeah.
ET's naked the whole time.
ET keeps being like, "Oh no, a cyclops ripped my clothes off again."
Yeah.
Elliot, tell
I'm
me.
so glad I found it. His name is Botanicus.
Of course. Did Hideo Kojima write this character?
Oh, probably. Oh man, imagine Botanicus is evil.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no, my
No,
clothes
no.
fell off again, Botanicus.
Oh yeah, Botanicus is the guy at the end of the ET ride too. Botanicus does show up.
I've been on that ride and I believe I remember what he looks like. Plant man, plant hands, plant
Well,
head.
no, he's got a staff. He looks like an old ET.
Oh.
He's got a bit of
Botanicus.
scruff.
Old T.
Yeah.
Not to be
Anyway,
confused with Mr. T.
yeah,
Mr.
he's
T is
A-
also from the ET planet.
He's
Yeah.
AT, AT, BT, CT.
Yeah. He pities the fool who doesn't recycle or whatever the fuck
Oh,
happens
no.
on Botanicus'
Oh
planet.
my god.
Well, we did it. We got through memories. I give this one a 4.5 out of 5, and I also put this at number 3, but only because the first two are so freaking good. I would put all 3 of these at number 1, honestly.
Yeah, this one's
I
a
think
bit
they're
tough because it's
all-
like a short film,
Yeah.
whereas the other
This
two
one
are like
felt- this one was
borderline
the length.
features.
This one was more the length of an Animatrix, and the other two were like they could just release them on their own.
I think in
As
terms
the
of like
home
ideas
video.
of discussion, though, I would probably rank this one higher than the second one.
Maybe. Yeah, I was thinking that too.
But in terms of enjoyability, probably third as well.
It's
Which
so
kind of-
heavy.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that that's how it goes in this movie, where it starts so strong and then it's like the second
Yeah.
one's good and then this one is, it's also good, but I'm like, I long for the days of holographic opera singers just like, oh, like screaming while she's being shot.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool.
I think that the first one, Magnetic Rose, is like a head above the other two. Like it's significantly, it's its own thing. Like it feels like a feature film, even though it's short. Like it's awesome.
Well, yeah, and even what you were saying earlier, where it's like you can imagine what the world in that world looks like, whereas like I can't really imagine much more outside of the world we've been given in this one.
Yeah.
Even versus the second one, where it's like you can
The
imagine
story
that the rest of the world is just regular world. This is just a stinky man running through our world, and then this canon one is like the world seems so contained within their sort of like limited scope of what they see that you can't really imagine much beyond it. But you know, as we were speculating earlier, like what would this look like as a movie or even as like a show? Like you're like, this could be an interesting show, like a world where everybody's obsessed with arming and shooting the cannon every day. Like that could be something cool.
I do want to know more, but I think that ultimately that's not the point. The point is the propaganda.
I mean, it's not the point, but it could be cool. Is what I'm saying. Imagine a cannon where everybody's got a cannon on their house, Jason.
If I can imagine a 6-episode miniseries of the Stink Bomb one, then I definitely think we can imagine a.
I could imagine
miniseries.
multiple seasons of this show.
Sure, yeah. Oh my god, this is
this is a functional world.
It's also the kind of anime you drop into, and you're like, Jesus Christ, there's 150 episodes of this.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
And they're just firing the cannon.
Yeah, they've only fired the cannon once.
I mean, it's very Neon Genesis in that way too. Where
Yeah.
it's like, oh god, it's
Wait,
5 minutes of elevator?
how many Titans are inside the wall? Wait, what?
There's 16
All the walls have
Gundam
Titans
spin-offs
inside
of
them?
this.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, I could picture it, and the reveal of like there is another city, and the other city is like completely pacifist or something. You know, there's
They're
like
just
all these
getting
different
rocked
options.
every day, and they don't have any weapons.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I saw it. Or like I like what you guys were saying, they're firing into nothing to keep everybody oppressed.
True.
Yeah, that's the real like TVA solution or whatever. Like, what do you mean they're Wizard of Oz robots? Yeah, I mean, if I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a big puff of smoke instead of an absolute blasted cannon shell into oblivion or whatever. But I still like it. The blast of smoke was impressive as well. Shall we move on? Oh yeah, Cam, you go.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know. Same as you guys. I like it.
Would you put this at number 3?
Yeah,
Or
I think so.
Yeah,
I think it's just tough to compete with the other two because they're much more in-depth stories. Like I say, I can appreciate, and especially knowing that he did all these kind of wild animation things, and I do appreciate that it looks so different. But it's just less going on. And like I said, I do enjoy the kind of even criticism of like the left-wing people being like less toxic gunpowder is funny to me, but I don't know. It's like again like a heavy metal magazine. I'd spend more time looking at this comic, but I'm not sure. I would say it's the better comic.
Yeah, it's also kind of hard to giggle at this subject matter sometimes, where you're like, the big brush is funny, but oh my god, everyone's a Nazi. Like,
yeah,
and you don't see any diversity amongst the people existing in this world, so we can only assume how horrible it is for them. Do we want to move on to the Home Alone of it all?
I think we do.
If you had to pick one,
What do you think the Home
when
Alone of it
is
all?
the Home Alone of it all?
Can someone please tell me when the Home Alone?
I
of it
really
all
gotta
happens?
know.
When is the Home Alone?
What
of it all?
is the Home Alone of it all? Now that's the Home Alone of it all. Woo!
The Home Alone of it all, everyone. We've returned. The Home Alone of it all is, of course, the moment where we all decide which moment within the movie reminded us the most of that fateful moment in Hate. And Hey, did you see this one where we do it every week? No, in Home Alone, where Kevin McAllister slaps down the blueprint on the table to prepare himself to defend his home. The moment that most people would say is the greatest moment in that movie, the defining moment of that movie. What do we believe is the defining moment of Memories? Now, because this is an anthology film, I think we can probably just either name our favorite movie or at least our favorite moment within that movie rather than go through each one. So yeah, I can go first if you want.
Sure.
You want me to?
Yes, please.
We need your.
Set the tone. Set the
Yeah,
tone.
the tone for me is obviously I'm going to pick the first movie as the best, as we all did, I believe. But I think within that, I think my favorite moment is probably when he machine guns the table, even though there are tons of moments between that and the beginning and the end. I think that is the moment that really kind of like snapped me back to be like, oh yeah, this is like one of the greatest art forms to exist in terms of visual media. I love film, I love animation, but I absolutely love anime when it does stuff that makes me be like, holy shit, this is a craft that like is so finely tuned, and people have to be meticulous and so skilled to pull off a shot like this. And I don't think that these sorts of shots are respected enough because they're in so many different types of anime, because so many anime want to replicate it, but also just animation in general, right? Also just sort of like the symbolism of what's happening there and the idea of what's happening there is also super intense and good. It's so much better than Miguel's story. It's so much better than the story of the people on the ship. That's why it's the focal point, but it's a moment where they've decided to come up with a new weird computer virus / 3D printing space goo that can create horrifying images of your most precious memories and turn them into nightmares. And also it gets blasted apart by a good old-fashioned machine gun. I think the animation is great. I think the story is great. I think the music is great. But yeah, that's my Home Alone of it all. We're also going to ask for final thoughts overall of the movie. I think that my final thoughts are that this is absolutely worth watching. Not just if you're an animation fan, not just if you're an anime fan, but if you just like interesting storytelling and fun storytelling and scary storytelling and weird storytelling. All of it is here on display. But it's also like technically very impressive in all three of them. They're all very different. They all showcase different styles of animation, but they're all really worth watching. If I had to give a rating to the movie Memories as a whole, I'd say I wish I had long-lasting memories of this, but I only have recent ones, and I hope that they will become long-lasting memories because I think this movie kind of rules.
Wow. Wow. I'll let you go last, Jason. So I'll talk. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's an interesting one because it's part of my memories. But I bet you, like, I think when I was young, what I remember is really the switch between the two parts, right? Like, I think I hadn't seen a lot of the anthology animes. There are a pretty good chunk now. I've seen a few more of them, but it was kind of an 80s, 90s phenomena. Yeah, and I just do think sitting down to this and having no idea that it would be so tonally and visually different episode to episode was crazy. And yeah, I mean, I rate this very highly. It was one of my memories, and now it is a memory and cherished memory, even though I watched it in a terrible community college friggin' place where you learn 101 chemistry or whatever. It still ruled. So yeah, I do think it's very worth watching if you're just a fan. And I will say this time I also did the bad baby thing of I kind of watch it in chunks just due to availability and freedom. But yeah, I would say also seek out this new HD DVD if you can. It looks kind of crazy. And I watched whatever version I was able to stream was pretty rough looking. So it is worth seeking out the remaster, I think.
Yeah, the remaster that I watched was crisp, clean, and good.
And I do know that the Blu-ray featuring that dub and remaster also does, if you are a purist, have the original version, because they're like, you know, the part of the digital noise and stuff was intentional. So it's interesting.
Do you have a Home Alone of it, Are?
My Home Alone of it all is just, I guess, switching the different transition is
Right.
my Home Alone of it all. Yeah,
Very good. Yeah. And a rating?
10 out of 10. Would remember again.
Okay.
That live studio audience really goes for it. I
Yeah.
have to say.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure one of them is hanging from the rafters, just
Yes!
for their knees.
My Home Alone of it all this week is literally the sequence of all the different military just shooting off as many rockets as possible at the Stink Man. But I do recognize that the first short was sort of the main event, if you will. In summation, I basically love this start to finish. I think it's a like, if you know the history of all of these animators and directors and writers, it's very important. It's kind of the crown jewel of this anthology month because it was sort of how we spawned the idea to do this. And as I was watching Animatrix last week, I was like, this is good, but these feel too short. This doesn't really feel to me like what an anthology film typically is. And this movie is what I feel like an anthology film typically is. 3 shorts, 3 smaller films to make up a 2-hour feature. And it does it so well. You get 3 different visions, you get 3 different messages, and you get 3, but they all sort of, while they don't ultimately come back to everything being about memories, they all sort of deal with society and propaganda and military and the human condition, which I love. And they take wild swings at all of those ideas, and they do better things at other things. But I think ultimately they all, accomplish what they're setting out to do. And I just loved it. The first 2 have very similar art styles, but still different enough where you can see drama, you can see comedy between the first 2, and then the third one hits it out of the park with just feeling like a Russian propaganda film, which is through the lens of a Japanese person sort of lampooning or satirizing that. If I was to give it a rating, I give the whole thing overall a 4.6 out of 5, and I also give this, taking a metallic rose and jamming a stink bomb into it and shooting it out of a cannon.
Oh my god.
Whoa, that's everything.
Wow, that's all of them. All 3.
All 3. Also, this whole thing should be called Smells, because you can smell a lot of this. You don't have to give me the gong for that.
I didn't know. I thought it was going to be a different gong sound.
But that's our show for this week. There is just one final thing that we have to do each and every week here on the show. And Cam, you've been here this is your 6th episode.
So it definitely means I remember what happens.
Yeah. Basically, you just have to ask the question that everybody's been.
All right, let me just plug this in right here and.
The question, of course, is what do you have to plug this week?
Zardos approved.
I mean, I guess I feel like I never know if I should associate my work with the work I do here. But yeah, I go to hollywoodsweet.ca and you can see all this stuff where I'm slightly more serious about movie stuff depending on the day. If you go to originals, there's a lot of free TV shows, documentaries about film history, film genres, stuff like this. Not a lot of anime. Tough to get the rights, baby. But you can also follow me at CamFest on all major platforms. And yeah, otherwise, just keep on watching these weird movies. I guess I'll plug also if you like this at all, Katsuhiro Otomo has a handful of other. He participates in a lot of anthology films. So Robot Carnival is one I told Jason about, and I looked, and Neo Tokyo is the other one, and he actually has a more recent one called Short Piece that he's a part of as well. So yeah, I feel like they always kind of feel like this. Always one good and two bad, or one you like and you're not sure about the others. But they are interesting because I think that they do pride themselves in being pretty different feeling bits mushed together, which is kind of cool.
Awesome.
Thanks, Cam. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Cam.
We love you.
Yeah, no problem. Also, you can buy old heavy metal magazines at old bookstores usually. They're fun.
You can see some boobies in them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're a kid, don't buy this. You see some boobies and racism probably, and
Yeah.
And
Oh,
ding
Homophobia
dong.
everywhere.
yeah.
All right. Well, I'll go next. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Hey everyone, it's me, Bubba Blackfly, also known as Steven Waters. You can hear me on the YouTube channels Darth Theorist, Three-Eyed Theorist, and Half-Blood Theorist, where I am the narrator, and I say, let's explore the depths of it in the video, as well as all the character voices. We have been hiring new voice actors as well, so I thank those guys for helping me out doing all the so up until recently, I've been doing all of the female and child characters and using voice changers to make it sound not like me, but it's still my performance being like, "What do you mean, Dad?" or whatever. But now we have proper people doing it, which is great. So I don't have to utilize technology to make myself sound like a lady. But then we also have a very talented person helping us out with Half-Blood Theorist, doing all of the voices there, and it's working out quite well. And I thank everybody who's been watching those and giving their love to the new voice actors. And for all of you people who are shitting on our new voice actors, please relax. We're working it. We're trying to work through it, guys. We're trying to figure it out. But yeah, it's a weird new process, but it's been fun. Also, Sonar Network, Stanland, check out Stanland. I'm in Stanland. I helped edit all of the spin-off series for Stanland. I'm also working on Snowtop, which is by the same showrunner, same creator, same writer, and we have a bunch of cool voice actors lined up for next week to record, so I might be able to actually tell you who we have on the show soon, but they're recognizable voices and faces. You might know who they are. It's pretty cool. I also recorded all of my lines for the show this week. I play a very weird character, and I'm pretty excited. And Jason's in it as well, which is fun and cool.
Wow.
Also, friend of the show and regular guest of the show, Cassandra, is also on the show as well. I'm trying to fill in as many little sort of like blank spots as I can with people I know and love, who I know are also talented and funny. But you know, it's a work in progress, so I'll update you guys as we go. And other than that, my friend Nate is making a game, and I'm doing a bunch of voices in that as well. And I'm going to be dropping more information on that when he gives me permission to. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. The world is opening, guys. I'm finally doing it. Finally doing it. Found the clues. That's my Nick Cage impression.
I knew exactly who it was as soon as you did it. That's why you're such a prolific voice actor.
Yeah, so those are all my new things for now, but more to come.
Awesome.
And Mordecai is what I get people
Mordecai.
to call me in between the sheets.
Heyo. What does that even? Anyway, don't think about it too.
Mordecai month incoming.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my name is Jason R. Phillips. You can find me each and every month at Super Kick Wrestling. I'm the announcer there, making me the voice of the voiceless. We have a show coming up on I almost said April. Like, where even are we? I have a son now.
Why are we even?
Why are we even? We're kind of living in a pseudo cannon fodder-esque universe. But
except the cannon is your child just constantly shitting himself, and you're like, God damn it, the cannon went off again. Preemptively this time.
Madison messaged me to be like, he scared himself with a fart. And I'm like, I've seen him do that before. Those are the kinds of things that you deal with as a father.
And that you're on the phone and Jason's also like, you like scare yourself with a fart.
Yeah.
Like, whoopsies.
I've woken myself up with farts before. It's like father like son. The apple stays on the tree sometimes. Listen, so August 28th, we have a show right here in Toronto at the Great Hall. You can find me doing the announcing for that. Also, you can find this show, Hey, Did You See This One? Remember that, Cam? That you can watch everywhere on the internet that podcasts are available, I'm pretty sure. This show goes up every week live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then over the following weekend, you get the audio version on demand and the video version on demand. Sometimes the episodes are long, sometimes the episodes are long, and that's what you have to deal with. I'm toiling with a new series coming out of this month where I think I'm going to take these like the parts of each episode and make them their own videos to see if we can see if people are more interested in seeing more short form content from us. So that's I'm looking at that. I've been editing Final Flight of the Osiris and putting something together with that. So look out for that in the next couple weeks.
You're also toileting because you're recording in a bathroom right now, correct?
It's true. My new because I have a son now and can't record in his bedroom. There's a toilet right there and a shower. So I am toileting. And
shower recording incoming.
Yeah. That seems to be the funny trend. The thing that we also do in this show is we have merch, all illustrated by our very own Stephen Boba Blackfly Watchers himself.
Oh yeah, that was me.
Corporal Tunnel Syndrome.
I used to be an illustrator, guys.
We got the Howie Mandela Effect. We've got the Grimoire Familiar Killers. One more of these Grimoire killers will die this year. Who will be next? We've got the Eldritch Millennial representation of all the co-hosts of this show. The Kill Aid, self-explanatory. The fan favorite, of course, Twinkerbell himself, and Chef's Fingers. All can be found at TeePublic and Redbubble. Look us up at Hey, Did You See This One over there? And I think that's everything. I think I talked about all the things. I think there's one more question that needs to be asked each and every week. And as such, our guest has to ask that question. Cam, in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, did you see this one?
Oh man. From the moment I understood the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me. Even in death, I serve the Messiah. That's what they say in Warhammer, I think, right?
I couldn't tell if that clip was just playing part of the show.
It was me. More blood for the blood god!
Yeah.
More blood for the blood god!
Oh no! 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 3D!